Hey, Jimmy Lee. Beautiful morning, huh?
Yeah, morning ain't my time, Bert.
Oh, Daddy. Give me a glass of energy for my pal here.
Energy? Well, that's just...
Cream. The Macho Man Randy Savage. What Nintendo? Oh, yeah.
Hey, Jimmy, give me a
Cream.
with nut.
Nothing?
It certainly is a big bun. It's a very big bun.
Where's the cream?
A dream as sweet as this.
Cream.
Dreamy wine.
I soaked in it. Madge, I soaked in it.
This is
The cream.
this is your brain on
Cream.
any questions?
Time to make the
Cream.
Dunkin' Donuts are always fresh. I made the
Cream, yeah.
Remember, only you can.
Cream. Nobody does it better.
Nobody does it better. Hertz leads the others by far. Nobody does it best of all you.
Oh. Hello there. I was just controlling the galaxy this morning. Crack a noon. And it seems there's a big summer preview. Yeah. The Lumineth 2.0 Fire Temple at last. I mean, they've been giving us clues that it's Lumineth Fire Temple the whole time. Big hats. Elves have big hats, you know, fire. The seemingly just about the only release Lumineth hasn't gotten so far. I can't wait. Obi-Wan sings at tier 1, 50 months. Currently on a 40-month streak. Damn, that's a good streak, dude. Appreciate the appreciation. And Peepo Kumfumi for the big prime for 37. Thanks a lot. It's not Fire Temple, it's Zenith, which is the light of the realms beyond the clouds. Pushing up glasses. Keeping our lore honest over here. While sitting here building some space wolves, you are part of the problem. I don't know anything about the ins and outs of which 40k faction fans don't like the other ones, so I'm gonna assume that comment means something. You're just here for the big pirate hat sky goblins, silent people, Malerian shadow elves, you know, just everything. Ooh, bundle of oozes, and that one's pretty old too. Time to put it in the safe, in the vault of treasures. Is that tension? It's No Man's Sky. A storage container here. Okay. Oh, that probably went to the ship. Did that go to the starship or the freighter? Probably went to the freighter. It did.
Good job, King.
Tay Barracuda, thanks for the tier 1. Subscribed for 47 months. Currently on a 46 streak. Almost perfect. Big stream on Wednesday. Really enjoyed your poetic iambic pentameter rant about the state of the game. It wasn't quite that. I wasn't going for a Shakespeare, but I appreciate the appreciation. Also, 46 months, that is, as you say, almost 47 months. Quite true. We're about to see Brett, Silent, Chorf, Maleri, Tomb Kings. Are we all excited? I am, yeah. Because as much as I didn't really like Chorfs in Forge World, first edition, kind of, you know, whatever. The new, like the modern sculptors, if you just tell them to make an artillery train that's kind of demonic, I'm here to see what they do with it, you know? Be that as it may, it does really sound like an old world army. It's a curious choice for Age of Sigmar, but I'm not making the decisions over here, you know? Anyway, 1589 years old, 27, 18... Oh, geez, these are even older than that. Okay, well... Hey, all right. Feel like I can take out the Echo Seed. We'll give. Wait, yet there's even more. What's the newest one? Oh, it's not even older than my youngest one. Get out of here. Not even a real treasure.
Good job, King.
Not even a real treasure. Into the trash you go. Big Dono for the biggest and bestest AOS and Boomer RPG enjoyer, Vault Boy 13 Hundo. On YouTube, thanks to the $5. Appreciate it. We are T-minus 20 minutia until it's time. And no need for gravity thanks to the tier 1, 21. If they are going to make a new faction out of nowhere, all we can do is pray the models are cool. Yeah. You know, the models are a big part of things, you know. It's like half the hobby right there.
Good job, King.
Do a trade expedition. Hey, well, we're going to be looking at the new KO and Corn books. Yes, we are, Andreas. I don't quite know if I'm going to do the longest stream ever today. And watch the thing and then go through all the other ones. I don't know if that's what I'll be doing. Because I'm kind of waiting on an information. Ooh, 31. We'll do that one. 31. Big. Launch them. But it might be a weekend thing. I got some... for some reason, half of my mods play Corn. And so it might be a commiseration Saturday look through the battle tome kind of thing, you know. What Vidya is this? You don't recognize it? It is No Man's Sky. And I'm a intergalactic Time Lord, essentially. Making discoveries. Currently doing a settlement thing because they've expanded settlements. They let you have more than one. And so now we're off to New Pakistan to welcome visitors. You're reading the pre-Soul Wars tome this morning for Corn. It's chicken soup for the soul. Hey, all right. Must have cut off your other message, says Lord Archaon 6. You said you hope everyone is looking forward to another show that is somehow all about Space Marines again. Well, there's a lot of things in it, right? There's a lot of logos. Oh, I don't have a new pending decision. Never mind. Wrong. There were a lot of logos in this reveal. Might be a big one. We shall see. What about Xboxia? I don't think I have anything there. Oh, construction pending in Cosmo Canyon. Let's head out. New KO is interesting. It looks much more fun than the previous one. This is Jimmy Wild. I just played against KO in 4th edition for the first time, like a week and a half ago. The book seems really powerful. Or rather, the army was very good against me. Because they got these auras of -1 to hit, which means I do no damage because I'm a destruction army. And then also you gotta commit into 2 giant charges if you ever want to hit anything, because the first one they'll just stuff the charge by teleporting guys away. It's a rough matchup, I think. Plus I can't benefit from obscuring because I'm all monsters. Now, if I was taking a good ogre list, perhaps I'd do better, but we'll see. I'll attack things with Big Prime for 18. Appreciate it. Warcry will return in Adventures Endgame, yeah. Autonomous crane or a saloon? I think I already have a crane here. I mean, it's Cosmo Canyon. I feel like we need a saloon. I've fallen through the world. Nope, we're good. Okay, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Good job.
Everyone chill out. Almost fell through the planet. Alright, let's supply some materials. KO Drone Swarm side faction looks funny. I thought that was a cool idea for a faction terrain. The swarm thing. I thought that thing was cool. I don't quite know what the rules are for it yet. I don't know, man. It seems cool. Lonely Sandbar, thanks for the tier 1 for 54. Oh boy, what fun. As somebody who has been enamored with board games, this 3-year cycle GW is doing has felt a lot like the content push Magic does that turned you off of it. But just when you thought you were out, they pull you back in. Yep. It does kind of seem good, doesn't it? The KO faction terrain. I was wondering how they do it, and if anybody has a mobile one, should be them. 3 little funny units that you can keep summoning. One of them just blows up. I think it's fun. Ogre Maw tribes can take the new Dreki Fleant Regiment of Renown with the boat that's almost a Stonehorn if you squint. Yeah, but I don't know. I like have a... How do I put this? It's not really philosophical. It's feelings-based. But maybe there's a philosophy of feeling there. I chose ogres.
Good job, King.
I chose ogres as my army, so I could play ogres. I didn't choose ogres as my army so that I could play some other crap because the ogres in it suck. You know what I mean? This is kind of why I don't like allies in general. But I get what you mean if you're trying to, like, perform. But I'm not trying to perform, and I don't really care if I lose games right now. I'm chilling until the refresh. Hey, I've been bad before, whatever. I'm not trying to spend money. I'm not going to overtly complain that I can't win games either, because it's sort of like my choice, right? I could play a million Noblars, which are really good right now. I just don't feel like it. No, that's all there is to it. People 3004, thanks to the tier 1, 64 months. Long have I waited. How long must we wait for the one they call Big Sippin'? For the one they call Loads. Does HeyWoah City have anything to do here? It's almost a Stonehorn if you proxy it as a Stonehorn on a different base. Quite true. You could make a boat horn. Big news, Soulbound Champions of Chaos is alive. The cover got revealed yesterday. Yeah, I saw that, Vault Boy. The Soulborn Play Chaos stuff. I've done all those. You didn't need corn to be a 5-0 tourney. You want to feel like you could in a corn way. Yeah. This isn't Warhammy. It's the waiting room. We got 12 minutes until the show starts. And so I'm doing some errands in No Man's Sky. In my giant city. Chill on the deck. Enjoy a margarita. And look across all we have built. In an ideal corn game, it's a tie with no models left. True. How many loads are we estimating? It depends on the hosts. I'm not sure who's hosting this time. But the first frame of the show will know the order of magnitude of the loads, shall we say. You're hoping for new Warcry, and the next quest game they make is another Blackstone Fortress, but you know, it's a long shot. Do we have a bingo sheet? We don't. Oh, I forgot to make one / tell people to make one. A reveal like this, though, is kind of like every space is Chorfs, and then there's a line of spaces that is psych, that was all bait, gotcha bitch, it's not Chorfs somehow, eat shit. And so really, it would be a little dipodal. Inshallah, it's not Chorfs as we knew them. I mean, it could very well be, you know how OBR started as the idea of Tomb Kings, and then, okay, we'll reimagine it until it's nothing like that. It could be that Chorfs started as Chorfs, and then they're like, okay, well, we'll AOSify and reimagine them until they're not Chorfs at all, and then here it is. Like, it could be like that. Which, in this case would be a great thing. In some cases, it wouldn't be, but, you know, here we are. Excited for how they do chorfs, but you know you aren't the biggest fan of them. No, but I'm not like... I don't hate chorfs, they're just, like, the quintessential, boring, old world, Forge World, no one actually owned the army and the models looked bad sort of faction that people are inexplicably completely hyped for in a way that I can't understand. And for about 2 years, they incessantly posted in my Discord, which was fucking annoying. So that's the backstory of it. Do I not like dwarves? No, dwarves are cool. Do I not like demons or infernal industry and train cars that are also cannons? No, all that shit's sick. You really only know them from Total War? That's sort of the problem.
Twitch Prime.
Not really problem, but maybe it's a comment. It's a commentary, really. Up there with Vampire Pirates. D. Neal, 5,500 things with a big prime, 11 months. Currently on a 4-month streak. Big reveal. It is. Big summer reveal. Stuff that's only popular because of Total War is... I'm resistant. I'm like naturally resistant to it. Should I put in a little railing system? I think we could do with some railings. You know? Just so people don't fall off the observation deck here. Because they're going to be looking at this view, you know? You got the ring over there.
Good job, King.
Oh, it's out of base range? Oh, shit. Maybe I can't. I kind of want to put a stairway down here so that people can go to the lake when they feel like it as well. Or maybe a big diving pad. Or maybe tubes. How deep is this water? Oh, it's super shallow. Okay, so this is more like a... It's more like a pool, then. We're not trying to...
Which prime?
Maybe people can use it to swim in. This isn't like a undersea tube base sort of thing. Although maybe I'll put one there for the kids, you know. Actually, does it fit? Let's see. No, I'm outside of the base range. I got to put some more glitch, cheaty face kind of base extenders in here. Skillshare, thanks for the becoming a HeyWoah enjoyer. I've seen you advertised all over the place. Although not with that PFP. Good models, please. Yeah, that's basically it. Solid Singularity, thanks for the prime for 12 months. Currently on a 5-month streak. Kind of a wide pond, not even a wide puddle. Yeah. I mean, there's other stuff over here, too. I wonder how far outside of base range this is. So, like, this is a settlement, and it counts as a base, and you're not supposed to be able to build here. But if you put, as you can see in the distance, if you put a base computer just on the outskirts of what is considered the settlement, they overlap. And if you keep using, like, if you keep using plates to extend the range, then you can build stuff inside of a settlement and make yourself like a cyberpunk city. But I might have to put another one down on the opposite side of the city, like way over there, just so I can continue to build and the thing can be huger. So I might do that. I'll get a base computer and see how far away I have to be to pincer attack the city here. Space Wolf Wave 2 because it would make people mad. Would it make people mad? Okay, I'm learning. G-Well, thanks for becoming a HeyWoah enjoyer on YouTube as well. Alright, we'll see how far away I have to get. 6 minutes. We're in the 6-minute countdown. Within existing base still, okay. You're actually hoping they don't even approach mech demons. That's 40k stuff. It does feel a little Doom 2, you know? Which is why I don't like that one unit that was in Age of Sigmar forever. Alright, there we go. So this is the base. And we'll call this one New Pakistan City Node 2. So we can cover both sides of the settlement. Soul Grinder, that's the one. I mean, I love that aesthetic. I just don't think it quite fits AOS is all.
Twitch Prime.
New Pakistan City Node 2. Okay. Capture a base screenshot pointing back in the direction that I came from, which I guess is right there. Hey, alright. Regal Eagle.
Twitch Prime.
Thanks a big prime for 11 on 11. You got a regular Blightsteel Colossus over there. Always up for more relaxing gaming vibes. Yeah, we're chilling in the morning. Oh, what is that noise? A hype train has started. Pure cinema. GD Panda, thanks as well. Appreciate the prime for 51. Are you not into trains? Well, apparently I'm into hype trains. Anyone else hyped for Little Heresy? I don't know what that is, but it doesn't mean I'm not hyped for it. Can I build stuff? I can. Cool. All right, so we'll do a small alloy there just to keep extending it. And then we'll do one there. Okay. Now we have that base overlapping and that base overlapping. And I can continue building my soy pond over here. There's a fishing location too. Maybe I'll put a teleporter to it. Or like a real shallow undersea kind of base. But in the meantime, it looks like we're down to 3 minutes. So the No Man's Sky period is over. So we'll go back to
sophisticated, relaxing, kind of invigorating. Everybody doesn't appreciate it like we connoisseurs do.
Go back to the HWS Alpha Stun. SDRK, thanks a big 5. Appreciate it. On Twitch. Level 2 hype train. Level 3 hype train. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. New hat for the news. Yeah, I'll wear a HeyWoah hat perhaps, you know. Anyway, good on you for the gift subs. Little Heresy is 30k but small. Ye old epic. Okay, yeah, then I'm hella not excited for that. But it's only because I'm not interested in little tiny models.
Relaxing.
Or 30k.
Kind of invigorating. Everybody doesn't appreciate it like we connoisseurs do.
No need for gravity. Things with big 5. Tier 1s. Appreciate. Appreciate. Gotta save the game, huh? Alright, save point. Anyway, TY for the double big 5ers. Appreciate it. And here we are. Anyway, I'm going to have to turn that up eventually. But we are closing in. We got to get the hype train going for the train faction, you know. Oh, true, yeah. Quite true. G-Well, thanks for the 5 Canadian dollar dues. Real quick, any final predictions for the stream? I don't know anything about any of the other IPs the GW makes, really. So I'm an open book on those. Everyone says it's Chorfs. So there it is. Is it the OBR from Tomb Kings kind of Chorfs, where they're almost unrecognizable? Or are they just straight out of the old world and into Age of Sigmar? I guess we'll have to find out. Or is it not, and it's like Lumineth Fire Temple or something. Zenith, if you will. And everyone gets fucking psyched. What's the crime? Playing as a dwarf? A succulent chaos dwarf? Despair and Shadows, thanks to the Fala. Praise. It'll be a Malarian this time, trust me. Absolute copter, yeah. Cast dwarves for old world, send people over the edge, embrace anarchy. Ladies and gentlemen, your new AOS faction, Space Marines. Paint them gold, no one will tell. Wouldn't it make more sense for Chorfs to be in the old world? Yes. Which is why it was confusing to me when they said AOS was getting them. Because I'm like, damn, that's an old world army. They should put that in old world. Everybody excited for them plays that game anyway. I don't know. But look, sometimes no one can predict the things GW does, not even GW. Your uncle runs game shop, and he told me it's Space Chaos Skavedorfs. Oh, nice. Loads, man.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. We are very excited to welcome you today to the big summer Warhammer preview. My name is Adam Troke. I'm joined by my friend and colleague Eddie Eccles, and it is our delight.
Hey, are we getting some...
Yeah, very exciting. We have a big preview.
Some interlacing...
Are
we getting some interlacing issues here? Are you seeing that? Is it just the stream?
Some Horus Heresy in the mix there as well. There's a little bit of something for everybody, it's fair to say.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Let's talk about how it's going to work a little bit. If you're new, maybe this is your first Warhammer.
This guy got to get closer to the mic. He's a different volume.
We are your hosts, but we are not alone. We have the excellent Simon.
Can you guys hear this all right?
In question corner. Simon, what are you doing today?
Hey folks, welcome to the show. I'm going to be fielding questions on behalf of Eddie and Adam. So if you do have any questions that you'd like to ask them, please start your question with question in big letters, capital letters.
Start your question with question. All right, I'm going to
do my best to track them, and hopefully we'll get an opportunity later on in the show to ask Eddie and Adam those questions.
Perfect. Thanks, Simon. We're going to be taking some breaks throughout the sort of proceedings to try and field a few of those questions.
Bit quiet.
We have a lot of content to cover off. We think we're going to be here for between an hour and 90 minutes if we go fast. So bear with us and we'll do our best. We're aware the chat is still filling up. There's people...
Or of 90 minutes.
So the first thing I'd like to do is throw a question out there, maybe get you involved, which is let us know where in the world you're from. I do it every time and I always enjoy the answer. And while you start punching in your...
in case it's somehow ogres, even though there's no chance of that, I've come prepared. I'm prepared just in case.
Yeah, I've been doing a little bit of Horus Heresy hobby.
There's no way it would happen. But just in case, we're ready. We're ready for it.
Sprayed up. And I've started painting a jet bike, but using some of the Horus Heresy transfers on the side, so it looks very nice.
Oh, birthday
looking forward to getting some of those done. I've also got some Space Wolves. I bought the new Space Wolf box. Like a lot of people, very excited by the new Space Wolf army as well.
It's very, even as a Dark Angels fan,
it's a lovely box.
Tempting.
I think that has brought a lot of people to Fenris, that particular box. How about yourself? Have been doing any
cool
cool
I'm
Warhammer?
glad you asked. The short answer is yes. I bought myself some new... a new
Damn, I don't care about what you're building and painting. Holy shit. Anyway, Ogres for Old World. Oh goodness, can you imagine that they sneak in ogres at the very end as the next release? It just wouldn't. They just wouldn't. Right? We've heard nothing. We don't even know if ogres will stay in the game for 5th edition. Who knows, you know? Oh geez, it's the Juan Ring.
Around the mountains.
What an unexpected journey.
Literally. Tremendous. So I hope you get to tune in wherever you are. It was really
the most recent brand new faction was Cruel Boys, which is a subset of orcs that look like cartoony Lord of the Rings kind of evil, dank, swampy ones. They're cunning. Soren had big fingers. Dude, his greasy sausage fingers are ready for some Tekken. Am I right?
Right. So, as I said before, we've got about 90 minutes worth of like wall-to-wall Warhammer content in this big summer Warhammer preview.
90 minutes worth.
We look to begin.
Yeah, let's get stuck in, shall we?
Right, so
right.
Punch the first video.
So just before we
cue it up,
the new guy, he's a little bit peculiar, but just bear with, okay?
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
Good job, King.
It's Brotan. Brotan. So Norwegian do things with a tier 3, 55 months, huge. Absolutely big. Dude, look at these wide gamers. Now these are some fucking dwarves. I like it. Look at this guy. And then like the mind orb dude. All right, I don't play 40K, but I like the Votan. Is that wrong of me to say? Are they unpopular? I don't know.
Incredible
I think they're
set of
cool.
reveals for the Leagues of Votan.
Yeah, so this is the
Camera
largest
back on.
release for the Leagues of Votan since the initial release of the army. This is a huge expansion.
This is the
all in
widest
plastic
release
for that
of
force.
Votan.
There is new heavy infantry. There's some new artillery. There's loads of new, really characterful characters to add to the army. There's some new vehicles, all sorts of stuff. So there's a kind of shot of the full
Summer
army
of
there, but let's take a
Dwarves.
closer look at some of
Short
the
King
specific
Summer.
models, specific units being added into the force.
Incoming
We'll start
backup,
with,
thanks for the 6 currency that I don't recognize. Boing Gob solo model for sure, Hell yeah.
Developing technology and expanding their understanding. And so an
People like Votan mostly? Okay. I mean, I see why. They look cool.
Aside from the ordinary
That's almost just good enough for me. They look cool.
He's a
What
member
can I
of the
say?
science guilds that are responsible for new technologies, and he brings to battle an experimental weapon in.
I kind of like the
phases
helmet,
of
actually.
development. This is a transmatter inverter.
It's a cool name.
Yeah, it's got 4 fire modes, and on the highest one, it literally triggers lethal atomic transformations. What that means is death.
Yeah, so he's taken out his new experimental weapon basically to the battlefield to see if it is, as he suspects, powerful enough to
And the runes on the side. Thoo.
Tyranid monsters, whatever he happens to come up against.
Like the noise it makes when it shoots. Thoo.
He's not part of the official sort of Leagues of Votan military hierarchy, so he doesn't.
Yeah,
join
they
you
are
really necessarily. He
very
kind of hangs around in your army next
they
to
are
them.
very
And he's
StarCraft
got
Terran.
Not predictability if he's near your
Except
infantry, that sort of thing.
dwarves, right?
A very useful character.
But I don't know, the aesthetic's cool.
Leagues of Votan force, and a nice way of kind of showing the some of the kind of lore and culture of the army as well, of the Leagues of Votan.
It's a positive for me because it means that Games Workshop is capable of releasing a bunch of like dudes instead of just a hero. They can do it.
Recording the data from the results.
That's a very cool head as well, kind of mad scientist.
He's got that Heihachi haircut.
There's a separate, a different head that you can have, which is helmeted, or if you just fancy some health and safety programs.
Yeah, they are kind of deep rock galactic.
Next up, my absolute standout favorite. This is the thing that made me
Look at this dude.
Warhammer World yesterday and buy some League of Votan models.
He's in the audience watching
Lemnir Strategist.
French New Wave.
He is an Ironkin. Those of you who are fans of the League of Votan will understand that the Ironkin are
abominable intelligences.
Well, not in their mind, but they're artificial intelligences which they hold an equal position within Votan.
So they're
society.
robots. That's
There's a
cool.
CU unit
I like how he has
inside
no
of,
face. I appreciate it.
And that's sort of within that Iron Dome.
This looks awesome.
The first really cool thing about this model is that you see the little noodly things that are on in the Imperium. You call them mechadendrites, right? These
Mechadendrites.
Each of those is an additional CU unit. So he is the combined intelligence of multiple Ironkin.
Does he have crotch arms? That's the cockpit.
Enormous
The pilot.
in terms of strategy and tactics on the battlefield, directing the efforts of the kin around him. It keys into a
Zoomer on his tablet.
Yield points, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. And most importantly, he looks amazing.
It's a very, very cool.
The book seemed to
really
imply that a
characteristic.
robot and a dwarf can
Also
find
got
love.
Some spare arms on the
Yeah,
front
but
there, which is holding on.
can
to
they
his-
find it on the
holding onto his little
battlefield?
data pad. He's tapping away on there, giving orders.
That's
to
the
all
real
various,
question.
Kin and Leagues of Votan units across the battlefield, and his main pair of arms he's used to sort of hold in his contemplative state, which is the exact pose that I have when I'm considering my movement phase in Warhammer 40,000.
And if you want to dazzle your friends with some knowledge, the array he's got on his back is called a cogniton.
Ref, thanks for the big prime for 10 months. Votan, Chaos Dwarves, Squatting, Dispossessed, Age of Sigmar, and a half-baked ogre expansion for Old World. Short stream theme
They are
fits.
called the Steeljacks, 2 types of metal in
Oh
one
yeah,
range.
because of squatting. Oh, that
Yeah,
could
so
be.
this is the Ironkin Steeljacks. They are a specialist kind of more warrior type of Ironkin. A lot of the Ironkin are fairly sort of helpful. They're kind of
they
default.
fill normal
Yeah,
civilian roles.
I don't know if I
default
like
status of
these
sort of,
quite as
friendly,
much
affable,
because they do look cool,
helpers
but
for the Leagues of Votan
I think they
kin.
look
These
too
are a much
close
more
to
warlike
Space
programming,
Marines.
So they march out actively into
It's
battle,
too close.
seeking conflict. They are in very large suits of armor, so they stand kind of almost twice the height of a kin or a League of Votan warrior, and they have got.
Yeah,
some
I don't know
pretty
if it's
decent
too
weaponry as
tall.
well. You can kit them out in a
Yeah,
variety of
it's
different
not
ways.
that
You
they're
can
too
either go,
tall.
combat
It's
leaning,
that
this
they're
is an
too
example there,
human shaped.
where you
That's
have
the
one
problem.
concussion fist,
If they were equally
a
as
bolt gun, or you
wide,
can go
you
with a
know,
ranged
so that they just looked
option.
like dwarves
In
that you
game terms,
sized
they
up
work a little bit like Wraith
on
Guard, I
the
suppose, is the closest
y-axis,
approximate. So
you know?
Very durable unit.
They look
quite
too
powerful
human.
Weaponry, very good for doing things like moving onto an
I know
objective,
they're
trying to
robots.
hold onto it, and fighting off enemy counterattacks, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, in real terms, heavily armed, heavily armoured. extremely dangerous unit. You can see the leader in the squad as you looked at these pictures by the.
Maybe it is the
crest, which
kneecaps,
rising
yeah.
on his head. There we go in the background. He's got a plasma sword. Guy on the front's got a concussion fist. Great new addition to the Leagues of Votan army, I think it's fair to say. We're not done. There's more.
There's more. Oh, mortar teams, hell yeah.
Really strong energy from that sort of rogue trader era. Do you remember Mole
Dude, look at this dude.
So these are sort
They're
of inverse
fucking
artillery.
huge.
Rather than lobbing a shot high above the enemy, they fire those mole shells that you can see down at the bottom.
Cool.
deep
I'm
into
glad
the
we get
ground.
some of this.
They
This is
burrow in
cool.
on the enemy and emerge in a
I like
trench
it.
line, in a bunker, and just blow everyone to kingdom come.
Each one of these is a really lovely sort of diorama in their own right as well. So you can see the kin there working with the Iron Kin, loading up the artillery. You can see one of them there with his little scanner, almost directing the mole as it kind of buries underground towards the enemy fortifications. Obviously, it's a powerful piece in game.
I don't know why this took me so long to get. It's not a mortar.
Nice kind of ways that this
It's
will
turned
foster
upside
your
down.
League
It
of
shoots
Votan
it
forces. At the
down.
moment, maybe it
That's
doesn't have a huge
clever.
amount of very long range
And then it burrows
artillery.
like a bullet
And yeah, I think it's a great kit. Really.
from D&D.
Awesome. Speaking of the bigger models that are inside this launch,
That's cool.
we have the Capricus. So the Capricus is one of those kits that makes two things. You can see here the Capricus Defender. We'll show you the Capricus Carrier in a minute.
This thing looks kind of whack.
Essentially, it is
Kind
either
of
a
weird.
sort of attack vehicle for the Hernkin, or it's a transport vehicle.
This thing is like instantly a meme,
this is
right?
The Carrier, so it's a smaller gun. It's got
Get in,
less
losers.
other
We're
weapons on
driving
it.
to the
It's a stowage
objective.
bag for the crew that will ride in the back. Whichever you take, essentially, this is enabling your Hernkin to get around from A to B and hold the ground that they're taking.
Yeah, so it adds a bit of a mobility into your Leagues of Votan force. It carries 5 models, so it works a little
Rip
bit
the
like,
danglers off and put wheels on it. I think it should have been like the
you pick one of
what
your
is it,
units, split
Shagahad
into 2 groups of
from
5.
Metal
5
Gear
of them can
3,
ride around in one of these.
where it's
If you've
got
got 2
two
you can obviously ride them around in 2 of the transports.
just spinny
And as I
diggers
say,
on
you choose
either
to
side of
either have
it.
the transport option, or you can just have
Like
all
instead
the
of tank
guns and
treads,
have
it's just
a fire
swirlies.
supporting- a fire support unit.
And it grinds across the ground and can kind of burrow sometimes too. I would have gone for something like that
Lovely little
maybe.
touches on this. The stowage bags are really nice at the back. I like that you can build this with 2 Ironkin as well. So if you want
Yes,
an Ironkin pilot and an Ironkin gunner, you can build them like that. Fans of Ironkin generally, there is a lot of Ironkin
Yeah, you've
in
done
this
quite well
Leagues
this
of
week,
Votan
yeah.
release.
This person should have had wraparound 80s shades instead
There's
of goggles,
also
but
a new
all right.
combat patrol for the Leagues of Votan on the way.
Dude, look at how
We're all
fucking
familiar with
big
combat
they,
patrols if you're familiar with
they
Warhammer
look. This is
40,000.
hilarious.
If you're new
I
and
love
explain
these
what they do,
guys.
It's a fantastic way to start
Look at these
an army.
dudes with their
Automotive
gyro
army, you've already got
harness.
this one really focuses on those sort of kin bands that make
What's
up
it
the main
called?
stand
Live,
of
die,
the
repeat
Palladium
armor.
the Hearth Guard in the middle. So it's
And then
one of
just
the
simply
ingredients to
Terrans.
bulk out a force.
Yeah, there's some really useful units in there as well. Like, you don't tend to see a League of Votan army that doesn't have all of those units.
Yeah,
in.
there's no wastage there.
So
right?
it's all good stuff. A couple of boxes of these, and then a couple of the new units, and you've got an army
You're
basically.
away. Yeah, absolutely so.
Yeah, these guys are great.
Now, on to, for many people's opinion, I expect the main event of this release. This is
Tyranid
Buri
hide
Egnisson.
cape.
Eddie?
So Buri Egnisson is the last survivor of a Leagues of Votan clan, which has been consumed by the encroaching Tyranid menace. He is known as the Thrice Devoured. A Tyranid monster has actually eaten this guy, but that wasn't enough to keep him down. He clawed his way out of his
Devoured.
gullet, climbed his way back out to safety 3
That's
times,
cool.
apparently,
Yep.
and now goes across the galaxy, across the kin warbands.
Bury
as a
the
roving Tyranid
unappetizing.
killing specialist.
Yeah,
effectively.
absolutely. He's on
Hey, I gotta blow my nose. Be right back.
He is an absolutely elite combat unit. He's equipped with that Dark Star glaive, which you see there, which is called Bane. He's pure violence in melee form.
I think you're going to get a lot of this guy in armies because his rules are very good. He is he's got a great combat stat line, but he's also a lone operative. So you can imagine this guy advancing either on his own or alongside, kind of behind your forces, and swooping in on the big enemy monsters and stuff that get forward to threaten your battle line.
Yeah, and his lore really comes into it. So he's a member of, well, he's the only member now of an organization called the
Are we back?
Aegir Block, which is one of the Leagues of Votan. Literally wiped out down to the very last kin, which is this guy.
Anyway,
so
this
he's
guy's
so
cool.
Bitter, his whole life is devoted now to just hunting down the Tyranid menace and supporting other.
Looking
legions
at this
stop
guy,
the
it's
Tyranid.
like, hey, there's a
You see
little
that
bit of
played out on his model.
subtle DNA between
He's got
KO and
this sort of
Votan.
belt buckle, which very much
Not
looks
for
like
any
he's
real
taken
reason,
some,
just
affectations from the
as a
Tyranids.
funny wink, you know.
Like we've been having quite a discussion about this.
Aesthetically.
Prime sort of cadaver.
I think it's a
over his
Tyranid
head.
Prime that he's got over the top of his head.
Yeah.
There's a nice
And it
little
is
nod
the
in this
face
model as
mask
well
that
to,
does it.
There's the idea at some point that the squats were eaten by the Tyranids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this guy kind of goes, well, yeah, they were eaten by the Tyranids, but also they clawed their way out again. So there is a little bit of truth to that sort of that outdated understanding maybe of what happened to that faction.
Fantastic. And all this obviously will be supported with Codex Leagues of Votan and all new Codex.
40K officially got better dwarves than AOS now. Yes.
I've had quite a while to read this week. It's just
unfortunately, I am in
lore.
agreement.
It's got great rules and art. It explains all of the new things, obviously. In terms of the rules, there's too much to go into in any real detail here. But a thing to cover would be those yield points, which is the sort of
Rip Dispossessed,
which underpins them.
Absolutely, yeah. So yield points effectively changes the way your army works over the course of the game, and it works in the way that the Leagues of Votan approach acquisition effectively. So early on in the game,
This has kind of fixed your opinion on this army. You might build
getting
them.
bonuses for attacking.
Well, if I ever run into financial trouble and I start having to do content about 40K, you know,
you get bonuses.
Votan is rising in the ranks. It's maybe Sisters of Battle, maybe Votan. Those are like the maybe the top two right now.
Acquisition-focused way that the Leagues of Votan work.
And it's a really great mechanic, right? Because it's exactly how you win games of Warhammer 40,000. Early on,
The Burger, thanks for the $2 on YouTube. His face mask has a face mask and an eye patch. It's great.
Units that already exist in the Votan army now have rules that key into that. For example, the Memnir Strategist just lets you increase or decrease your yield score by 1 each turn.
Yeah.
So really sort of thoughtfully put in, so this guy who's overseeing the total sort of tactical function of your army.
Votan is a very young army. It sure is, yeah.
We should show some of the models.
Let's do it, yeah.
So we've got some in front of us. We're very lucky to be allowed to put
Oh,
our paws on
real life
environment
models?
images. So there'll be a bit of sort of scale comparison here, but here you can see this is the Arcanist, and then you've got the Memnir. They're like normal Votan sized. So
how much is that in bullets or football fields?
Here you can see just
Blue
how
whales and
sort
school
of
buses?
much bigger,
Can the U.S. audience get some increments of measurement here?
I think your comparison, Eddie, that you made to compare them to Wraithguard is really quite fair.
What the fuck is a millimeter?
It's kind of in that ballpark of kind of medium heavy infantry. This is the new artillery piece. It's maybe not like as big as something like an Imperial Guard tank or something like that, but compact, mobile.
Well, no, but yeah, the whole point of mortars is that they're very maneuverable.
You can sort of imagine it starting life as a piece of mining equipment, and they've sort of evolved it into a weapon.
You can definitely see sort of some of those origins. I just want to draw some attention to some of the super cool bits on it. This guy here, you can see.
Yeah, that is
shoulder,
cool.
He's got like a data slate. You've got this sort of, I don't know, like loading hatch that you can model open or closed. On this side, you
keep it in frame, buddy.
More of the shells. You get
Look, they drew a line. They have a little chalk line here,
really thoughtfully designed and
so that they could put it in the camera's depth of field.
So,
they're thinking ahead.
Show more though, because this is by no means the end of it.
Absolutely, we've got the Capricus here. So just make some space on the table so we can have a look at this guy. So this is your new vehicle. This is the Defender pattern, which is the gun version. And
move it up to the line.
There's a little bit of space, not quite enough space for transport on this one, but there is one which is a transport vehicle.
Yeah, and you can actually
really
put dudes in there.
Ironkin on this is actually
he's got like a tiny little chair.
He's quite small, yeah, because they wouldn't fit a full-sized kin in there, so they've given them a little tiny Ironkin.
Are 40K models just actually as a range smaller than AOS, or is it the dwarf army and so the dwarf things are small?
So the thrice devoured.
I don't know that I've ever seen the two next to each other, to be honest.
Sized, but you can have a look on this model here that so much of him is now bionic.
They're on 28s. It's the dwarf army. Okay.
Yeah, chewed up and spat out so many times that like his arm, bits of his arms, most of his face, perhaps
a little bit of
kind of unspecified amount of his body has probably been dissolved by horrible Tyranid bioacid in their stomach and things. But he's still kicking.
Chris Vaughn, thanks for becoming a HeyWoah enjoyer on YouTube. Appreciate it.
Especially designed by their Votan to be durable, to endure kind of the most hostile conditions, and he's
on average 40K armies are on smaller bases than AOS. Okay.
So I think we've covered the league
because I think in general, on average, our guys are like on 32s for the most part.
Sort of housekeeping bits. The first,
although it's obviously it depends.
We're going to return to the 41st Millennium at the end of the preview. So particularly if you like Kill Team, but also there's some other things for other factions as well. Do hang around if you like Warhammer 40,000. The other thing I would say is that lots of the people who mentioned that they were joining us from around the world, you can interact with our social teams. We have sort of international
Our social team
that manage our various sort of social media places.
Warhammer Fra,
If you
Warhammer
wanna,
Ida,
get involved in the conversation,
Warhammer
the language
Espies,
which suits you,
Warhammer
go knock yourself
Duh,
out. They're really
and
lovely
Warhammer
people. They're really engaged and want to, you know, sort of make sure that you get to hear about Warhammer in.
I love interacting with social teams.
And if you speak English or you're willing to take a pot shot at it, these are our socials as well. So please come and join the conversation.
Yeah, we'll see you there. Yep.
Right, time for a little bit of Warhammer: The Old World.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, the old world.
First up, we have brand new units for the Tomb Kings of Khemri. This is a new multi-part plastic kit that makes the Royal Heralds.
It looks like what it's supposed to look like.
You have a battle standard bearer, and you have a new hero / lord. You could make that and call it a Tomb Prince or a Tomb King. I think it's up to you. You get a battle standard, which you can put on either thing. So if you fancy a faster moving battle standard, stick it on the horse guy. If you fancy him like standing around in one of your big regiments of skeleton warriors or tomb guard, then
yeah, this is kind of how I feel about all the Tomb Kings that I've seen so far. I'm like, yep, that looks exactly what I think they're supposed to look like.
Yeah, I love this battle standard. That kind of weird scorpion. Both the paint scheme and the model itself are very cool.
I'm not interested, but they look like what they're supposed to look like, I think.
A faster one. If you've got lots of chariots or something in your army,
yeah.
You can mix them in. I would imagine there's a fair
Nice
bit
banner.
of customizability between this kit and some of the other Tomb Kingy bits as well.
Yes, yeah, not just within this kit itself, but also I think things like the Tomb Guard, for example. So this isn't the only new plastic kit coming for the Tomb Kings of Khemri. We also have the Leech Priests, who are fundamental to the workings, literally, of the Tomb Kings.
Yeah, you absolutely need Lich Priests in your army if you've got a Tomb King's army. Your
Got a
army
big
only
buzzard
won't
up there.
because you had Lich Priests. It's their job to kind of keep the magic flowing that keeps your army marching forward. Again, this is a multi-part kit. There's some lovely options on these. You can see they're perhaps a little bit less dead than some of the other Khemri, but they're still very definitely desiccated. Definitely spent far too long in the desert.
Are these new sculpts? They are for sure new
I love the
sculpts.
vulture on the top of the staff.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for bringing that back.
They couldn't get stuff that looked like this
animated creatures that have
back when Old World was made.
Magic of the rituals.
I think you were saying as well that looks like it's right out of.
They're new, meant to look old. So see how they made the horse look goofy a little bit, but it's supposed to.
The perfect angle. He just looks like the artwork, and I mean that is the highest possible compliment.
The RoboCop phase.
Might be wondering if that's extra armor on the skeletal steed. It certainly is. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But yes, you can have a barded skeletal steed, which I think might be quite useful if you're used to terrible armor saves in your Tomb King's army. I guess we can talk about that now. If we go across to also coming out is a new arcane journal, The War.
Look at how good this cover is.
The Imperishable is very, very angry. His lands have been defiled. He feels like he owns everything.
This isn't even like that great, but the cover looks like a cover should in a codex or a battle tome. What is the AOS cover team doing? They'll make sure it's 1 foot guy in the middle of an empty void. Get out of here. Make a mural.
There are rules for sort of allied forces, playing smaller games.
They have different artists team than AOS. Well, I would say the art director, like the person telling people what to do. This cover needs to have this on it. That's the thing I complain about.
It's great to get
the artists they hire are capable of drawing awesome covers. I've seen their art stations.
And see what I mean about
capable of great work. They're just told to make boring stuff for some reason.
It really just screams the imagery that we saw before. I love it. There's another arcane journal coming, which is equally exciting. Just happens at the other side, quite literally, of the region in the Old World, known as the Old World. This is Dawn of the Storm Dragon, and it features a bold strategic move made by Miao Ying.
First Gloomspite cover was sick. First edition cover is dumpster modern covers, which is crazy because it wasn't that long ago.
Which is happening in the north, and is concerned that it's going to gain too much traction. So loads ships full of Grand Cathayan soldiers and sails to the Empire, sets up an enclave, and helps to try and stymie this chaos.
10 years, 10 years, 10 years.
A cool story, and B, there's a...
Look, Age of Sigmar isn't 10 years old until 2026. Because Age of Sigmar didn't fully even release until it got points with the first GHB. That's my copium.
Yeah, so,
been 9 years.
Sort of, great example of the really sort of bold and exciting things that the studio team responsible for the Old World are doing. They clearly love the setting. They want to explore it in really rich and vibrant.
Cathay waifus. I like the
absolutely. So we should
mouth protection, the neck protection there.
And see if Simon's got any questions for us.
What have you got for us, Simon?
Loads and loads of questions. I think
Loads.
the majority of them are focusing on the Leagues of Votan.
Loads of questions.
Loads of fun and new toys coming out there, of course. So the first one is actually about the judgment.
Mark it down. Loads.
Still a thing. Obviously, we've got the yield rules, but what about judgment tokens?
So the focus in terms of the army mechanic is those yield points that we've talked about before. It's always good when we get a question which is like, can you tell me the really grainy, like granular rules things? Because the answer is no. We got 90 minutes to rail through as much stuff as we can, as fast as we can. We'll cover way more detail about Votan rules and mechanics and all those things as we lead towards it. But you're in for some subtle changes in the way the Leagues of Votan work, and it's quite exciting.
Cool. We've got another one, which were the funky drill shell tokens on the Chthonian Earthshaker. What do they represent?
So I do have a really short and candid answer for that. You saw them on the little base beside. The kit comes...
You fist bumped Loads guy at Adepticon. Fun moment. Yeah, he's a nice guy. Adam Troke, I think is his name.
Like, sue me, internet, if I get it wrong. You put them down alongside the...
Yeah, we're not making fun of him. We're making fun with him. It's just a funny thing. And I think it's a cultural thing. Brits say loads, and in America that's funny.
Yeah, so the unit is sort of set up so that they have some specialist shells, so that'd be like representing the unit being like, right, we're going to use one of the big ones now. This is the important shot.
Perfect.
Wait, actually, we kind of do, now that I think about it, because we say like shitloads of stuff, right? But we never say loads of stuff. We always say shitloads or some other word.
The other Leagues of Votan transports, where
I wonder why.
you take a unit of, usually come in 10s, you split the unit in half, so 5 of them can go in that. If you've got 2 of the transports, you can carry both the units round in those, or you can leave 5 of them back on your baseline and deploy them elsewhere.
Grand.
Is Valkia in the game, and does she have the demon keyword? Yeah.
On, the Old World, but we will go to the mortal realms instead. There's some exciting things for us to talk about here. And let's start with a new battle tome for Death.
See, this is what I'm talking about these covers. Like whoever's in charge of telling them what to draw,
like foul and abominable.
Stop it. This is a
monstrosities.
perfect example.
Unfortunately, have delusions, quite literally, of being
it's
noble
drawn very well. The artist is good.
And the truth couldn't be sort of further from that.
Yeah, they absolutely.
You're just telling them to do something lame.
King on perhaps a grand crusade of some sort, or part of a pageant, or a noble feast of some sort, but are in fact horrible, degenerate cannibals, as you say. The new battle tome has all the stuff that you would expect. Lots of new ways to use your army, new magic.
It should be the centerpiece.
Enhancements.
You make a centerpiece to sell the army. So why don't you put art of the centerpiece on the cover of the book you're trying to sell? I don't know.
Which is the High Falconer Felgrin. So
okay, this shit looks terrible. Never mind.
Under an illusion. His particular delusion is that he is a falconer in charge of...
I'm going to give it a 1 out of 9. That's the best I can do.
He is in charge of a swarm of rabid bats. The model is very characterful. Like, he's got his kind of weird, crazy hat. He's got
you can see the almost like the vestiges of that nobility that you were just referring to, right? He's got like a very sort of like huntsman-y style hat on, and the tattered robes of a person that might be performing that duty. But he's also got guts hanging off.
It's a very fun. It's a very fun miniature. I think in the spinning shot, maybe you can just picture it. But there's a bat that comes with him, which is basically a token that
Damn, I don't like
something
it.
in the game, where he sends one of his falcons off to spy an enemy unit, and that can give you bonuses in games.
Look at this two-dimensional
These are
ass
the kind
bird,
of spies, the eyes and ears
cookie cutter.
And if you direct it to an enemy unit, it can give your squires.
Is this bat just throwing up?
Against that enemy unit, you can do things like take away their ward save and get better.
He's a bat handler, not like a falconer, I guess.
And a very characterful model for your army.
Nice. There's also accompanying this release for the Flesh Eater Quartz, the Charnel Watch. This is a new spearhead, so you can use it straight in games of spearhead, or you can use this to bulk out, or maybe you can use this to bulk out your existing Flesh Eater Quartz army.
Use this to bulk out.
Hard-hitting, infantry-focused spearhead. It's got models that you'll be very familiar with.
Yeah, it's still got the old
within this game.
cryptical walls.
Spearhead is really fun. Expect sort of lightning assaults, and then using monstrous-sized infantry to sweep the enemy away.
Yeah, also a great start to a larger Age of Sigmar army for Flesh Eater Quartz. It combos really nicely with the existing Flesh Eater Quartz spearhead. So if
Yeah.
you've got that already, you can add this in.
Lashita
You've basically
courts.
got most of an army. Yeah, some really good stuff. A couple of the cannibal monkeys in there as well, which are
It's what everybody
always a
needs,
winner.
right?
Who doesn't love that?
There's another battle tome for the sort of death faction, which is the Nighthaunt. Here we have Death Battle Tome Nighthaunt. They're a very popular.
Looks
iconic
cool, but again,
faction
it's
within,
sort of just floating in a void.
realms.
It's in a void of
They're
color.
based in the second edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and they've really
It looks like one of those alternative magic cards
spot as sort of beloved.
where it's just
This
like a
book is
profile with a
rampant
random
with
color
lore,
background.
that explains them all, as well as all
Looks
of the,
cool, that like the art's
sort of
good.
information that you would need.
I just want it to be
I was
part of a
talking to an
scene.
avid Nighthaunt player about
Bad
this,
use of
yesterday,
color.
who was super excited because he's sort of in the know enough to know, for example, that their ward saves are improving across the board, and so he's very excited to try those in games.
Yeah, there's some significant defensive buffs for the Nighthaunt, certainly, with this battle tome. Generally speaking, you're finding that the units have a bit more health. The way that their immunity to rend works has changed a little bit. So generally, their normal saves are
Yeah,
a
I
little
like
bit worse,
Bladegeist
but you
Revenants.
can now bolster them with things like all-out defense, and their ward saves are across the board a 5-up or better, which is pretty solid.
Yeah, perfect. But let's get on to the model, which is brand new, coming out with this release, which is the Lord Vitriolic. This is a very
this guy's cool.
disturbing creature. In life, it was something like a poisoner.
I don't know about this
Snake oil merchant.
Yeah, fake potion
marshmallow
distributors who deceived
goop
people and
here,
sort
the
of, let
foam.
them down or led them to ruin.
But it,
And
I mean, it looks like a
Nagash
mid-boss
soul
from Elden
his
Ring.
Sort of malpractices, evil deeds, and has
I like him. I think I like him.
reformed him into this horrific Lord Vitriolic.
You're gonna have to snip that
jointed arms on top of his
foam off,
spine.
though.
He's, horrible, but really fun. In the
Nice
game.
face too,
So
yeah.
he's got some very fun rules. So basically, you can see his rack of potions on his back there, and the way that that manifests in games is you can create specialist potions and throw them at enemy units.
You can
You've got two
largely
options on how
fix
you do that.
smoke
You
with a
can either
paint
just
job. You're right.
Chuck a bunch of random potions at the enemy and roll some random things to see what happens to them. or you
The
can
burglar, things with
concoct
the
a very
5,
specific
Nighthaunt.
potion
Why is the cover just a guy? Show the rest of the
and
200
effects
models
of
you're
those
gonna
can
have
range
to
from
play
things
with.
like
Yeah,
doing harm to
exactly.
the enemy unit, taking away some of their advantages, all the way through to things like stripping ward saves from enemy units.
Yeah,
So
that one looks.
Maybe
it's
the
a really
maybe it
good
is a
little
paint error.
problem-solving unit, so you can go right. What enemy am I facing? What I'd really like against this is this specific bonus or this specific debuff to the enemy unit, or just to do some damage. So I think we're going to see a lot of this guy in Nighthaunt armies.
Absolutely. And as with the Flesh Eater Courts, there is a new spearhead for the Nighthaunt. This is the Cursed Shackle Horde.
Cursed Shackle Horde.
All the ghosts all the time, right? An absolutely brilliant box loaded with.
He's a cotton candy
everything you want
machine.
To either kickstart an army, reinforce an army, or play games of Spearhead.
I think this isn't
it's
isn't
very
bad.
cool.
I don't know
And
if the
obviously
ladies
a
are
great way
used,
to
but
start and
the
do
other
that.
ones are the
Yeah,
two horsey
absolutely.
men.
Those things were cool.
They're cool.
But there's a lot of people here who have been holding onto their hats really patiently, hoping that we maybe, show them something they've never ever seen before.
Holding on to my hats.
Why don't we start with this?
Huge. Very chorfy. Look at how big it is. He's got cannon arms.
What?
Damn, that ended really
incredible
quick.
reveal. Eddie, I know you're super excited.
I am very excited. This might be my new Age of Sigmar army. These are the Hellsmiths of Hashut. These are effectively the reincarnation of the Chaos Dwarf concept.
The Hellsmiths of Hashish.
Entirely redesigned and brand new army, coming out first in an army set. Arriving alongside its new battle tome. The army set also serves as the spearhead force for the Hellsmiths of Hashut. These models are phenomenally cool. The rules are great. The lore is great. I love absolutely everything about them. Let's dive into the miniatures.
I think the first thing I want to say is let's talk about like why they are these. When the time of chaos happened in the mortal realms, the Duardin.
Yeah, why are they here?
They survived in their holds, or they took to the skies, or whatever. But
not these guys.
But not
these
so the Zardron, the Chaos Duardin, who would become known as the Hellsmiths of Hashut. They instead turned to Hashut, an ancient and terrible Duardin deity, who taught them the ways of hellsmithing. So, and their whole culture is based around Hashut, the Bull Father, and we're going to see that sort of writ
the
large
Bull
into
Pater.
the first thing that appears in this new army set. These
So
are
yeah, it's just the
cohort with
Warhammer
Hashut
Fantasy
spears.
lore.
Say that fast if you can. They are the core unit for the Hellsmiths of Hashut.
Look at this dude.
They are an elite combat unit straight off the bat. These are very dangerous to Arden indeed. And
Yeah, they're
the
very
first
elite.
Job, King.
Sunshine and Black things at tier 144.
That contains
And 6 currency I'm not familiar with from incoming backup on YouTube. No Hobbs to steal jobs.
Invaded the various Duardin holds during the Age of Chaos. Some of them took over the holds, but where the Hellsmiths of Hashut dwelled, they instead trapped those demon legions and decided
I think
to
they look
weaponize
what
them into a fuel.
I think
to
they look
power
what
their
they're supposed to look
war
like, don't
machines, their
you?
weapons, and their technology. So that green glow, as you say, is ground up demon
They're
juice that
pretty-
is powering the weapons of the Hellsmiths.
I won't say unchanged, but they're pretty close to what Chaos Dwarves were, you know.
You see, you've got a musician.
They didn't do the OBR thing where it's just
bare-chested,
completely different,
Duardin,
right?
And a hobgrot carrying a massive gong on its back, and obviously
They do look less racist. That's true, yeah.
That's like
Smaller noses, smaller curls, you know, coming out of the helmet.
And so here you have them with Hashut-type blades, basically.
A little
ways
less,
of killing people.
you know,
They have different
Rasputin propaganda poster looking. But look, that was that wasn't the important part
spears
about them
generally are
anyway.
your slightly more defensive thing, so you get bonuses against the enemy that's charging you, against cavalry. The swords are the slightly more offensive option, where you get bonuses for fighting into enemy infantry and taking the fight to the enemy. But both effectively heavily armored elite infantry.
Yeah, absolutely so. And you can paint them in different colours. The studio team's done a lovely job. The banner in the middle just is a really interesting.
These are very like
Zardron culture, which is
I don't want to
it's a
say
ziggurat
it because it's a
that banner, right, with the
it's a whole
bull
can of
and
worms,
above.
but
They live in ziggurat cities. And
they
each
are
one is
very
ruled
World of
by a
Warcraft,
war
aren't they?
despot.
The whole
As
thing.
if by magic, here is the war despot.
I thought you planned the whole thing.
All these
is
guys,
my
the
favourite
big
model
bull
within
thing.
It's a great hat.
It might be
It's a
my
great hat.
I don't mean it. I don't mean it as a slur.
It's just so good. Huge hat, great big spikes. He's carrying an enormous warglaive, which is glowing. You see the runes at the top glowing with this sort of eldritch power. The war despots, they have to rule through a mixture of
Yeah, there really isn't a lot of chaos. I guess they have
and also
tusks,
just ensuring that everybody
some
around
runes.
them knows that they are the nastiest, toughest of all of the Hellsmiths. So they are dominant figures.
Yeah, like any Duardin, they couldn't demand the loyalty of their followers unless they were able to lead from the front, basically. So they're not cowardly, but they certainly are diabolical schemers, sort of thing. So they will lead their armies.
Yeah, it could
into
be
battle
Whiskey Limo.
proudly, but certainly not go for a fair fight.
And their whole reason for being as an entire culture is it's just like weaponized greed. They plunder,
Weaponized
take from the land,
greed.
they give nothing back.
That's
They don't
already
want to
KO, but
destroy
okay.
it. They are like cruel in the extreme because that's how they survived the time of chaos.
Yeah, they don't see themselves as corrupted through that. That's an
No.
interesting
There's no physical side effects at all to what they've gone through.
An interesting sub-point. They see themselves as almost the paragons of purest order, right?
Yeah.
So they've taken the assault of chaos and they've ground it down and created like order from chaos. But in the mortal realms, they're paving over the natural order and putting up the monuments to Hashut and the great ziggurats that power their industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Also within this spearhead is just this incredible centerpiece model, the Dominator engine.
The Dominator engine.
So here you can see the immolation cannons. This is a enormous metal creation.
Damn, that's the exact model I was hoping Fire Slayers was going to get.
Roiling inside it. Have a look at the
Better luck next
brazier in
time.
its belly. You can see the demonic
Double
eyes
macer.
peering out as like the demonic souls within a torch.
I love the
and
flames on
give
these
it its
things.
power.
That kind of like green into purple fire is such a beautiful sort of aesthetic. This is both an incredibly cool miniature, which I think I'm looking forward to see what painters do with this, because the heavy metal one is wonderful, but I think once this goes out into the wild and you've got
You're going to see incredible interpretation.
Yeah, 1,000 painters painting this, it's going to be
Am I
amazing.
wrong for wishing this was a destruction army?
In game, this thing is an absolute juggernaut, right? So it has a 2-up save.
Yes, I am,
save, which
because
in Age of Sigmar is almost unheard of.
It's just
it has
chaos,
loads of
right? So
wounds,
that's
it's
it.
really hard. The combat version can mulch entire units. The shooting version is what you want if you want to wade into the middle of an enemy army and just set the whole thing on fire. Like a lot of
Ooh,
the
that
stuff
sounds
in the
like short
Hellsmith
range to
army,
me, which
their
sounds
kind of
bad,
army
which sounds
mechanic,
like we want the
allows
melee
you
one.
to harness
see.
A demon power on specific units.
Why would
so
you
can
curse
bolster
them
the
with
power of
bad
it.
rules?
And on these, it's particularly devastating.
Fantastic. And we're still
Oh
not
yeah,
done.
it's because of the trio.
Also within the spearhead.
Also,
you'll
look,
find
they
this is the Tormentor
they
Bombard.
mimicked what is it Sumerian? I can't remember the.
If you cast your mind back, if you're old enough like me,
It's the
to
not really
the
hieroglyph,
world
but it's the old
was
language where
renowned
when they wrote it down, it looks like a bunch of nails, where it has like a triangle on one end and then a slash down. Babylonian, or yeah, cuneiform. I couldn't remember the name for some reason, but their markings remind me of that.
Yeah, this is the war machine you use.
More so on the other guy
being
than
advanced on by
these.
multiple
but-
enemy units. So you can fire at a single enemy unit, and the units nearby also take damage. That's how devastating this is. Very long range. I think it shoots 30 inches, which again is very good in Age of Sigmar. I think the Hellsmiths of Hashut, between this and some of their other units, have claimed to being one of the
At least these dwarves have women.
Well, let's talk a bit more about that, because I think we have the Death Shrieker rocket battery. Brilliant for just like blowing up.
Oh yeah,
the
there's one right
big
there.
Impressive things, right?
Yeah, so this is a monster killer, right? So where your other war machine is the thing to take out blocks of enemy infantry and kind of massed formations, this
I don't
is
think this
they
shit
have
looks
one big
evil
monster
enough.
that I
Am I
want to be
crazy?
dead. You can fire this at them, and this with a fair, with a decent.
I think
roll
this
will
stuff
take
is
out a monster
good.
in
It's
single combat.
bombastic. The centerpiece is
energy imbued bolt the size of
like crazy in a very AOS way, and maybe the paint job is screwing with me, but it's very clean, symmetrical, tidy, not quite evil enough. Maybe I don't know.
It's the perfect.
I don't not like it.
For an all-new Hellsmiths of Hashut army.
But that's not it.
But that's not it.
I bet it's the paint job.
Why don't we show you some more?
Big. It's fucking huge. Good, because we definitely needed a second half, yeah.
If the launch
there we
wasn't
go.
awesome
Finally,
enough,
new
they
ogres
followed
announced.
shortly thereafter with all of those incredible models that you just saw, rounding out the force into a really substantial and impressive Warhammer Age of Sigmar army.
Yeah, immediately out of the gate, you have almost a full army offer, basically, of stuff. And
well, that's how you should fucking do it. It's an army. What do you mean? Of course you should have a whole army. It's an army.
I remember being charged by these when I was like 13 or 14.
In their classic red with green bases back.
Well, now you can almost like have a whole army. Of course, that's how it should work.
Cavalry unit. They are basically the experts at riding down enemy forces and crushing them under their hooves. They hit very hard. They're well armored.
Yeah, we got dragon ogres,
sort of
kind of
manifestation of the power
Boltars
in kind of form. The Duardin here have kind of warped.
They're okay. I don't like the centaur
ancient
silhouette
ancestor
or idea, and so I'm just like an anti-centaur kind of person. I think they look dumb, but not because of anything else. It's just that centaur creatures look stupid to me. So that's the only reason why I wouldn't like them.
Yeah,
Anti-centite.
There's loads of really great lore in the new battle tome.
Oh, well-known anti-centite.
Hey, the
HeyWoah.
gods of the Duardin, and Hashut was almost like one of them, right? He was like one of the pantheon, and he was given the realm of beasts, and he sort of felt that was almost like. An
Hey, you know who would fit right in this
rather
army?
than
Kragnos.
be harmonious with it. He decided to
Exactly.
just trample it flat. So
Just
all of
hit.
his
Just put him in,
incarnations
and you wouldn't be able to
of
tell.
beast power is in the form of trampling, in the form of kind of harnessing.
Hashut has
and,
the right to defend
subjugating
itself.
nature.
It's
Yeah,
true.
so let's
It
look at
does.
Another sort of variation that this kit enables you to make, which are the Anointed Sentinels. These are the most devoted towards Hashut of the Hellsmiths. They guard his holy places, whatever a holy place for the Bull Father Hashut might look like. So they're much more defensive than the other Bull Centaurs, although by no means a passive unit. They're just really great at counter-punching.
They're just
and when
big.
you consider how much of the force might be standing back and...
Did we ever find out why they did Kragnos?
Very useful.
I don't know.
You also get like a little interesting...
Calicar, I think it's the big prime. Appreciate it on Twitch.
It sort of breathed into it through these.
Yeah, I love those miniatures. They might be my favorite in the...
Free guy ran.
They key into that sort of classic imagery that we're used to from before, as does the next unit. He says seamlessly segueing in. We'll see. So here's some variations, but we have the Infernal Razors. Now, These have got blunderbusses. And if you
These guys have laser
long enough
guns.
in the beard, you might remember Chaos Dwarf blunderbusses from yesteryear.
The absolute
like
terror of Warhammer Fantasy 6th edition, I think.
Yeah, it was diabolical.
A little cartoony.
A very dangerous.
But this is kind of a cartoon army. It's like I said, it's looking kind of World of Warcraft cartoony, right?
There's no gunpowder necessarily.
Just a touch.
And the kit makes two options. So you have those, and you have the flame hurlers, which.
Flammenwerfers, yeah.
More explanation particularly required.
Yeah, two really powerful units. The blunderbusses, not much to choose between them really. They both do a great job. The blunderbusses have got a little bit more range on them. The flame hurlers can fire while you're in combat, which is really handy. So even if the enemy manages to reach you, you can still sort of set them on fire. But the thing that really makes them is that through the army rule mechanic, you can power them up and power up the demonic energy inside the guns, which basically increases the rend on the guns.
That's going to be OP.
Rend 3 doing multiple damage.
That's going to be too strong, and you're going to have to move the points up.
If the enemy is like charging your...
But it also sounds fun, and I wish everybody's rules were like that. So here we are.
Shooting against it, you can wipe out things
Skaven
like
dwarves. Finally, we have Skaven dwarves.
They are very, very good.
Yeah. Now everything we've shown you really is quite elite and high value.
Get ready for the other end of
the
spectrum.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But what if you want some chaff to hurl under the
wheels
of the enemy, so to speak?
Army ruined. No.
Relationship between the Hellsmiths of Hashut.
Oh, look at the top of their heads.
Their ranks. Hobgrots are also really into doing awful things.
A bunch of homeless orcs. Here you go.
They exist as
Buy
like
$6 boxes for your chaff.
Culture.
Oh no, the potatoes.
Forage for themselves. They get to join the army and whack stuff. They fill a really interesting niche in that they are fast.
Stop! Fucking stop! That.
They absolutely can. So the way these guys are going to fit into your army, most of your
people weren't buying enough cruel boys.
But relatively slow. So
we had so many extra sculpts lying around of potential cruel boys. Here you go.
So you can kind of push them forward early in the game, grab those objectives, just get under the feet of enemy units. They will absolutely be used for things like trying to take a charge from something so you can set all your other units up for an amazing...
Yes, that is the definition of chaff. You are correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you will absolutely...
And here are your clan rats.
We've obviously seen Hobgrots before in the kind of Cruel Boys force, but these
and we hated them then.
Equipped by the Hellsmiths themselves, so they've got slightly better armor maybe than the ones.
Universally hated Hobgrots from the other army.
Oh no, they don't get to play with any of the cool demon stuff.
But the people are wrong, so we just put them in a new army as well.
Join the faction. These are
okay, this guy does be looking a little evil.
I suppose it's fair to say. And
these are making
you can see in this model there's
some dragon heads maybe or bull heads.
Wizard. He's got that demonic power sort of coming out of his hand. He's got his tome, looks like it's...
And we get Gul'dan.
I don't know what
like
stone
Obsidian Jade.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That,
with like
his name is Dual Gan.
His animated. In a nutshell, they
How
are...
good is that paint scheme, though? Whoever painted that in the heavy metal team, well done.
Yeah.
Well done, guys.
It's just stunning. They fill a particular function because they're the ones that enable all of the...
the book is on a walkie stand.
To work. In game terms, they do a particularly useful thing, as well as being a wizard, which is obviously great.
He's a Sray gear.
War machines as well. So if you've got any of those big infernal engines, or you've got any of your cannons that have been damaged, they can kind of go over and put the power back into them.
Who thought purple and green would work together?
Option in it.
I don't know, the color wheel.
Ashen Elder. We showed you the anointed centaurs, who are the ones who...
Oh, this guy has the grey waist.
This is the person doing the rituals.
Ashen Eldar.
And you can see that petrification has started to happen to his skin.
They even kept the petrification. This is a copy. It's Control-C, Control-V into AOS for the lore.
Very powerful if they have the right magics available.
You can hold it at bay a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe.
But doom is upon them. There's a couple of really interesting things. I like his staff. I'm just going to eulogize about how beautiful it is that the smoke makes it look like a beard. But you had a fascinating fact about the hammer.
Yeah, so there's lots of things that are really fun about this.
The Xbox hammer.
If we go for hammer particularly, there's not a lot of.
There's actually a rule in there that you can overcharge it, but then it red rings. It doesn't work after that.
Profane symbol to the Hellsmiths because they remind them of the other dwarven ancestor gods, which really like hammers. But this particular hammer is blessed in the blood of other Duardin priests. So he would have found a runesmith or something, or one of the Kharadron priests or something, and then slain them in a sacrifice and blessed the hammer in that blood. So that's why he's the one with the hammer when no other
So
help
if
seems
you're
to have
a
them.
Fire Slayer player, a Caradron Overlord
they hate
player,
this guy.
like
Yeah, yeah.
pick on this guy the
Oh,
most.
Chaos Dwarf mages
The
always
Caradons
turn
and
to
the Fire
stone in
Slayers
lore if they
really
use
do not
magic
get
too
on with
much.
the
Yes,
Hellsmiths.
that's
Like,
what I mean.
There is a lot. They've got beef, basically.
Yeah,
with
absolutely
the-
so. There's also another character we should talk about. This is Urak Tar. He's the first demon smith.
Damn,
back
I think
in
it looks
that
bad
ancient
even though it's
time
big.
When the Hellsmiths needed
Because
to,
it's supposed to
learn
look like a
survive,
bronze sculpture, it
learn
means
the
it
secrets
looks
of this demon smithing from
low
Hatchet.
poly
He
and
is
simplistic
truly
with too many
ancient
angles
and
on it. I
abominably
don't like
powerful.
it.
You can see how that manifests his the petrification on the back, like deep.
The guy's just
trenches
kind of
like
standing
rock
there.
starting to form out of his flesh, horns erupting from his skull.
Not
He's
for me.
mounted
It's just
on
not
an
for me.
Enormous infernal.
The idea is sick.
My brain's just gone blank. Infernal Taurus, just centerpiece written all over him. Incredible spot within the lore. Wonderful.
Yeah, very, very cool miniature. It's a 2-for-1 kit as well, which is really cool. It also makes your Demon Smith on Infernal Taurus. There's a bunch of
Okay,
options
maybe
on
it
this
is
kit
the
as well, which is
paint
amazing.
scheme
So
because I like this
I
one
actually
better.
can't wait to see what painters do with this kit particularly because it is just
Yeah,
asking
it's
for a
the
beautiful colour scheme.
it's
You
the
can
paint job.
Imagine this in like beautiful non-metallics or metallics or glowing runes or
the glowing-
kind of petrified rock or something else. But again, that kind of manifestation of Hashut as never deciding to use the natural materials, right? It's always going to be industrial in some way or made out of iron or metal or stone or something like that.
And the only wood on the base is like burned
Burnt
ruined.
to cinder.
it's
Yeah,
so
you,
good.
you can imagine him walking through a forest of just like that.
Yeah, should we take a look at some of the models in the flesh? We've got them here in the room with us, and we can give you some.
Oh yeah, put them up against the line.
Mhm. It's looking good. Here is my personal favourite. You have the War Despot. You can see he's a very chunky looking Duardin. If I stick
War
this
Despot.
Infernal Razor next to him, you get a sense of, sorry, I'm just making your life harder with the camera there, perfect. You can see like bigger in stature, more powerful. Moving along, you have the Demon Smith and the Ashen Elder.
And then finally the Clan Rat there.
Really quite sort of scrawny, just perfect for, subverting to your will and getting through your daily work.
Just for kind of scale purposes, that's the same size, more or less, as the Hobgrets that currently exist in the Cruel Boys range, so you get an idea of the size. Much larger. We have the Bull Centaur there, so you can see that the power of Hashut sort of coursing through that guy. This is a fairly large cavalry miniature there. It's like on a scale with some of the kind of
the Bull Centaur.
Agrodon sort of size, that kind of...
Yeah, he's big to say the least. But not as big as, terrible segue, here we go.
No Kadai Fire Lords? Not yet, they haven't.
Even beefier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
okay, that thing is way smaller than I thought. That is way smaller than I
You have a
thought.
few of these in your army as well. There's a few different options for kind of heads and.
It's big
things, so
though.
I certainly expect to see.
It's
a
big,
few of
but
these
it's
making their way
much
through.
smaller than I
bring in
thought.
at least one of the artillery.
Yeah, let's get one of those.
Yeah, he's
Right,
Master
so-
Blaster sized.
The main event. So if I squeeze some of these guys
We're running out of
of the way.
space. There's too much stuff in this release. It doesn't all fit on the table.
I don't think
Yeah, I thought it was like Guo sized too.
There we go. So you can see the two.
All right, and you got the shoot stuff,
Again, these have got like really lovely little dioramas on the back, so you've got multiple characters sort of with different
Damn,
roles
boy,
across
you
the artillery
thick.
piece, like
What?
Absolutely.
funneling the demonic power into the engine or stoking the furnace.
Imagine doing a full
little bit
range
like
release.
these are
Some
both
armies
artillery
still
sort of-
don't.
These are just like wonderful little pieces in their own
Yeah,
right.
yeah. But let's bring in Uraktar, shall we?
Yeah, he's the big guy.
Oh, I think he's bigger than Bobby Briccolini, don't you?
So I mean, this is.
And then this thing's
Powers above even the.
that thing's about the
range.
size of like the Magister of Hammerhall.
Just exceptional. There'll be loads more pictures of this on WarhammerCommunity.com, and you can see it all in more detail. There's probably some.
What was that guy's name? The Magister of Hammerhall.
left out.
With his
We need to
bird,
move on.
Yeah, we need to get
Right.
that
bird
was
horse
very
ram.
cool, very cool.
Before I do, one more thing. I'm
Aventus
aware that
Fire
lots of people in the
Strike,
chat
that's
might
it.
be,
Yeah.
Keen to know
Aventus
about
Cheap
Warcry
Strike.
and whether or not Warcry is relevant here. The Warhammer Studio team are going to publish rules for using Hellsmiths of Hashut for Warcry when they release.
Yep.
So
Oh,
keep your eyes peeled.
they
on the
said
Warhammer
something
Studio
about
website.
Warcry that I
There's a
wasn't
free
listening
download
to.
that lets you try
To
out
that
some
one
of
person
the
in chat who's like, "What about
models
Warcry?"
in Warcry in your games.
Yeah, so not only will there be a full new army for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, they will also feature an entire new faction in Warcry as well. But, and also,
Unlifey, thanks for the tier
Yes,
1 for
it would be nice
42.
if we segued seamlessly into the Warhammer Underworld.
What just got revealed? You
Welcome
just joined.
to Spitewood. This is an expansion for Warhammer Underworld.
Spitewood.
It's the scene is.
Isn't Warcry
essentially
dead?
In
Yeah.
the Spitewood, you have a Hellsmiths of Hashut warband fighting against the Kenothi. So it really is industry versus nature.
Yeah, there's a strong rivalry in the Mortal Realms between
industry versus
the
nature.
Hellsmiths,
That's
who are
easy.
all about, like, as we say,
I
trampling
pick
nature underfoot,
humanity.
and the Sylvaneth, who are all about protecting nature, and the Kenothi are a particularly kind of warlike aspect of that, following the kind of absent hunter god Kurnoth. So they will defend the wild places of the Mortal Realms.
Yeah, so here you can see the two warbands. So this is an expansion, as we say, for Emberguard.
Twitch Prime.
G. Longus, thanks to the Big Prime for 2 months.
Hellsmiths. You have the
Hello
Kenothi.
there.
The Blood of the Bull is the Hellsmiths unit. Bottom left-hand corner, you have a war
This guy's
despot,
playing his gun like a guitar.
Army advancing into the Spikewood has suffered a strategic reversal, so she's regrouped with her sort of remaining warriors, her inner circle, and she's waiting on reinforcements before she can raise the place to the ground. So she finds herself contesting it.
Kurnothi versus Chorfs on the bingo card. Make sure to
You've
check
got
the
some great
back,
archetypes
page
in the mix
2.
there as well. I particularly like the Hobgrot.
He deserves a call out, doesn't he?
He does, because if you've been playing Warhammer for a very long time, you may remember hobgoblins from Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and there was a unit called Throat Cutters, I think it was, or Throat Slitters. He is basically a homage to those.
It's really lovely.
It's really lovely to see.
Yeah, they've got.
He is a homage
their rules
to that.
Reflect that sort of plunder.
Hey, something should stay in the past, buddy.
Just for the joy of it, sort of mentality.
He looks
the other
stupid.
In this set is, he says, well, there we go. The Kurnoth Herald. There's 3 of them in the kit. They make these Kenothi. The thing to point out with them in terms of like their rules and how they play is that they're very defensive. Because they're holding what they've got. They're not interested in stealing other people's stuff. They just want to protect their woods. And so while they're in their own area of the board, if you're an Underworlds player, you'll be familiar with the sort of mechanic. They're better, so they're better at defending their own objectives.
So it's quite an interesting warband then, because
It was a Hobor Bling disliker.
But your bonuses are for.
Yeah, they look
defensive.
dumb and they're
So
small.
redeploying, fighting in different areas in your own area. And
I love these miniatures.
Simple
I think.
as.
We've seen Kenothi in Underworlds before, and this is a kind of expansion of that. But I think this is a phenomenally cool looking warband.
I looked at them too long, and I'm really disturbed by their gemstones glowing
You said
in their
that
belly
you don't like the
buttons.
glowing belly button.
Something about it, man.
No, yeah, he's right. That is hideous.
So there we go.
That is hideous.
Awesome stuff also for Warhammer Underworlds. What an awesome set of releases for Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
And 10 years of Warhammer.
That's a
Sigmar
really
as
fair
well.
point. Yeah. 10 years ago this month, we saw the arrival of the Mortal Realms, the birth of Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
Mhm.
We're going to be sort of showing over the coming year a whole bunch of interesting things to do with the Mortal Realms. So if you enjoy Warhammer Age of Sigmar, you're in for a good time.
Oh.
It's taken the Hellsmiths a long time to get here, hasn't it?
Yeah, it
but
was
then they
worth the
are
wait.
only movement 4. So.
Raph has respectably reminded us that there is in fact 5 more things to
Oh,
talk
there's
about.
more. Look at this.
And we're already getting the move along sign. There are 4 more boxes coming for Warhammer Underworlds. Each
4
box
more
contains 4 warbands.
boxes.
Each box also synergizes with a particular faction. So this is the Order one, the Seekers in Shadow, and it contains 4 warbands.
This guy looks sweet.
From the Order faction, Grand Alliance, I should say. This is the Death one.
Dude, the Death one looks sick.
These are the Reavers of Ruin, the Chaos warbands, and we've saved my favourite to last because I'm allowed to.
Hey,
the
it's
Gits and Goliaths, the
it's
Destruction
him.
warbands.
Roughgorn, some guy, man
Warhammer
trapper.
Underworld
There he is.
Each
Ogres
Warhammer
exist,
Underworld warband is
kind
lovely,
of.
Right, they're just characterful.
It's
and they
him.
form
Hold up,
part
I'm
of the
switching.
Mortal Realm setting.
There
you
he
get
is,
4 in a box.
dude. There I am.
It's delightful. To play with them,
His
you need
rules
to
are
get
fucking
this, which is the
terrible.
Warbands of Spikewood contains all the cards and everything that you want. So whether you fancy playing with them in Warhammer Underworlds, seamlessly integrating them with their War Scroll cards into
Hell yeah. We got it. We got representation. Didn't think we would. All right, we're back.
There's 16 opportunities in 4 boxes.
There are every one of those boxes is all killer, no filler. There are some beautiful miniatures.
Sardaukar Black Belt. Big, hefty.
Yeah, so I think we actually are at the end of the Warhammer.
We are now at the end of the Mortal Realms.
It would be a good time to check in on Question Corner and see if there are in fact any.
Oh, we're on the end of the Mortal Realms.
People are very, very excited
So
to
I-
hear about the Hellsmiths.
I don't need.
That'd be really cool as well.
I won't be needing this hat tonight. Okay, I'll put it away.
Yeah, and of course the
I'll just put it over there. Hey, maybe next time.
So there's a bit of
Maybe
news
next
about
time,
the
champ.
Grand Alliance that they come from.
Hit
So,
the
presumably
showers,
they come
kid.
From the Chaos Grand Alliance. So how do they fit in with the rest of the cats?
Yeah, so I can take that one. So the Hellsmiths of Hashut have a slightly interesting relationship with several factions in the Mortal Realms.
Do they?
They are definitely in the Chaos Grand Alliance.
Yeah, well, no shit. They
Despite
worship
what
chaos.
They themselves believe they probably are corrupted by chaos at least a little bit.
Yeah, obviously that's the whole point.
I mean, you have tusks growing out of your face and horns growing out, and
you're turning to stone.
Yeah, I mean, something's got a little bit demonic there. But they would consider themselves as kind of champions of order, but they are in the Chaos Grand Alliance. They also trade with the various forces of chaos, so perhaps chaos warlords and things would go to their
big traders.
Be served with like weapons that they forged in exchange for.
Oh, so the dwarves have to have a lot of trade, do they? We're just perpetuating negative dwarven stereotypes. I see how it is.
Traded with like the cruel boys and things like that.
Okay.
They are Chaos Grand Alliance.
Nice. So how does Hashut fit in?
We'll take your money.
Really badly.
Yeah, it does not play well with others.
What you're buying.
So he is part of the pantheon of the Dwarven gods, right? But he feels ostracized. They understandably want to ostracize him. So the Hellsmith.
What's the official name for chaos dwarves now in AOS?
The Dwarven gods. It's a very
oh my god, I've forgotten it.
Which is why there's such vitriol.
Hellsmiths of Hashish.
Thank you very much. We need to go to our next setting, which we will do by moving to the timeline of the Horus Heresy.
Let's do it.
So there are
HOH, just like the HeyWoah mirrored image video game covers.
So if you're
HOH.
settle in, and we'll take you on a tour.
It looks like you're throwing up the horns.
Several boxes of fantastic plastic kits that make some really interesting additions.
Moom.
On screen now you can see the Whirlwind and Scorpius set. It's 8 of those, 4 of each. And so if you want to just rain death on the enemy, blow them out of their cover, this really is a wonderful way to do it. Built on that famous Rhino chassis, as is the Vindicator Siege Tank Squadron.
Why do these look like they're super tiny?
You can stick on a Rhino. Oh, it appears to be a gun with a breech
What
big
if
enough
I
to
want?
stuff a
I
whole
want an
Space
even
Marine
bigger
in.
gun, though, Adam. I want a bigger gun.
You want to do a heavier siege?
These look really small.
Well, I've got some very good news.
Oh, that's
for
it.
you.
that's exactly it.
The Type on
They're
heavy
8mm.
is on
Oh.
the way. It's even bigger and more
Why?
dangerous than the Vindicator. And you get like a nice guy.
I mean, I've heard of
blowing
epic
things up
scale
with
before, but I'm always like, why?
Is he contributing?
Oh.
Like, by the time
All
you've
right.
been shot by that,
Some people
how
want to
much
paint
of a
smaller
flamethrower do you
stuff.
want?
I'll leave them to their
taking off
fun.
What's left? You know,
Maybe,
they drive
yeah,
through and it's
maybe.
like you're getting some and you're getting some. So if you want to blow things up from further away, maybe there's a Titan squadron that offends you.
If you want to
It's a
blow
lot
stuff
worse than
up
the
from
Heavy Tank
7mm
Squadron.
away instead of 5mm
Turbo
away.
lasers. That guy's offering
Choose
you a fist
these.
bump. It's a wonderful time to be driving tanks over the enemy.
Some debate in the office as to whether
Imperial.
it's a heavy tank destroyer or a heavy tank destroyer.
Yeah, exactly. We've had some debate
Let us
on
know
that.
in the chat which one you think it is.
Do you think it's a heavy tank for destroying or a tank for destroying heavy things? Answers.
Possibly
in the chat.
both. Possibly.
The
Everyone
heaviest of
has
all of the
different
tanks,
species of
so
autism.
heavy
It's true.
super heavy is the Mastodon Assault Transport. What if you want to just pack Space Marines into a tank?
It's for
drive
people who
across the
measure in
battlefield, open your
centimetres,
gates, and
so the
charge into an
French.
enemy stronghold, having leveled the walls with a melter array.
Dude, this
then
tank
this
would
is the
look
way
cool
for
if
you
it was
to do
big.
so. It's even
I think
got
they
its own
did though.
anti-aircraft system
You know,
on the top,
exactly
and the pilot,
one
that is a
third
really crisp fist bump
of
as well, and
the
then
Horus
there's a
Heresy
range of the
30K
other guys.
miniatures
Sort of a,
that they've made
30,000
look
equivalent
so
of a siege
dope,
tower, isn't it?
actually.
Kind of vibe.
The design on this, we've seen this at
So
like
I will
standard
defend
140
Horus
scale.
Heresy on that
Beautiful.
front.
It's
Like
still
a third of their
beautiful,
models
full
are
scale,
fucking
it's just
dope as hell. Like so cool.
So those kits, like loads and loads of tanks, the Treadheads rejoice. All of the rules for those, in fact, all of the rules for
that
all
big
of
tube
the
tank
units in
thing,
Imperialis can be found in Liber Strategia.
the like giant space marines with the shoulder pads that look like the aliens from Fifth Element that waddle back and forth. Like that shit is sick.
Along with a whole bunch of other rules content. There's too much to go into here and now, but have a look in the article that's going to be on Warhammer Community, and we'll talk more about it closer to the launch. What if you really like the letters A through F and you want to mark objectives and or token effects? We're releasing
All right, on this episode of Shark Tank,
set of token markers.
what if you really like the letters
I find
from
this very
A
useful
through
for
F?
reminding me what effects are going on in the game.
Oh,
There's all the formation and data sheets you need for your Legions Imperialis games. The team responsible.
Brilliant.
for
Sell me
have
this
really
sandwich.
Just done a cracking
Sell me
job
this pencil.
of making sure that like the rules are accessible. You can get hold of them. It's really fun time. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, kind of compiled a lot of stuff together.
HeyWoah himself said he wants many units on the table. This is how you get many units on the table. I mean, sure is, yeah, like grains of sand.
How he gets all of his rules together. And I just had to sit there quietly knowing that this was around the corner.
Wouldn't that be great if they're all in one book?
Yeah, your prayers have been answered.
Oh, just one more thing.
Stuff set within the Age of Darkness.
Yeah.
We teased these in the Saturnine preview.
Did you?
But we have the Mark II Assault Squad. So I think we showed one before.
Okay, I like them.
So
this is very Rifts coded.
Mark II Assault Marines. Mark II is kind of one of the more brutal looking of the various different Space Marine armor marks. And these guys.
This looks like knockoff Samus.
You've got some options in this kit for a variety of different
they look great.
Weapon options.
These are cool as fuck.
Is the chain axe, which is an optional free upgrade to the chainsword that comes normally with your Assault Marines.
Yeah, and so the kit's loaded with chain axes. It even has heavy chain axes for extra clout. Think of them as slightly slower than chain axes, but they have a more dangerous. Yeah. Sorry, chainswords, but they have a more dangerous.
Guys yelling and pointing. Give this man a helmet immediately, or wraparound 80s shades. Nothing in between.
No points involved, just a straight kit swap. If you're dying to have that classic chainsword loadout, then there's some good news because you can swap the arms with the ones that are on the Mark VI Assault Marines, or you can just get them from the upgrade kit. But I think compliance has never looked better than it does with a chain axe.
There's some great different options in there as well. You've got a couple of heavy chain axes too, which is another upgrade you can put onto some of the models. The Sergeant's got the option for some pistols and close combat weapons.
Don't like the shield. I'm not digging that shield. It clashes.
So loads of different things you can choose to.
But otherwise, I really like these guys.
We're going to see some of these converted with all the different Space Marine kits. One of the lovely things about the Horus Heresy is that so many of the kits are really interchangeable with each other, so you can take bits and heads and arms and weapons and stuff and really create it.
I really like the breastplate.
If he's wearing a helmet, how are you supposed to hear his command? By focusing his chi.
Well done, them. There's more coming as well. We previewed the
Forges of Saturn.
Available to order
big
right
Robor.
now. Saturnine is available to order right now. There's a new journal tactical on the horizon. It's called the Forges of Saturn, and this is really all about
Conqueror's Hockey. There it is.
To his brothers through the Saturnine project, and so it focuses very heavily on all of those suits of armor that we've seen in the Saturnine box.
Yeah, there's loads of great new options in this book, particularly.
Yo, look at these fucking dudes. These guys look so sick to me.
So there are different.
I love these guys. They look so cool.
Other kits, mixing kits together to create new units. So this is a really great example. This is a Saturnine command squad, and what you've got here is a unit that's taken bits from the command squad.
Certified big, and I love the pole as well.
Someone who's built a Saturnine.
This whole shit is sick, and his
you can now give it to
sledgehammer here is appropriately big.
Command squad and basically make them into a champion. The other option,
Saturn is where it's at.
Make one of your Saturnine Terminators into a Saturnine Centurion.
Like, look at this shit. That's cool.
On the far left there. Saturnine Centurion means that you could now have like 2 teams.
Like, I look at stuff like this and I'm like, man, 40K, are you even trying? You should just put that in your game.
Saturnine
styled army. Just put these in 40K and let people play with them.
General Tactica is the way the Legions embraced Saturnine armor.
They came back, or they rediscovered it. Who gives a shit?
That really plays into the
hand. It looks great.
Thousand Sons love it. It's my favorite.
But there's all sorts of things. It's not just the Thousand Sons that sort of get the rub in this. So there'll be lots to enjoy. And we'll tell you more about
head
as we
is so
there's some really
small.
Stuff about how the different legions have
Perfect.
embraced it. So the Thousand Sons have sort of used it as intended to some extent and kind of put all of their psychic pilots inside them. The word bearers immediately crammed it full of demons just to see what would happen. But all of the legions, to some extent, have recognized the lethality of Saturnine technology and find a place for it in their legions.
Perfect.
Yeah, I know. Maybe you're right. Like, regular 40K Space Marines keep looking more like Call of Duty. And 30K is where the Warhammer lives. Like, don't remove the Warhammer from it, you know? I don't know. I'm an outsider, though, because I don't play 40K, so.
Book 1 called Ashes of the Imperium, and this kicks off a multi-book, multi-author mega series set in the ashes of the Imperium. It's a perfect title. The Horus Heresy is ended. The Emperor is mortally wounded, enshrined upon the Golden Throne. The War Master is dead. The forces of the traitor legions are in full retreat. What happens next? So this series begins essentially at that premise.
This is
a very understandable confrontation between a
I don't know.
And
I don't know who that
damaged
is.
Rogel Dawn and Rabute Gilliman, who has arrived.
Okay,
pristine
Gilliman. All
with
right.
reinforcements.
Rogel
And
Dorn,
as
is
you
that what
can
he
see, there are
said?
loggerheads already. Black Library are super excited.
Dogel
for us to be
Rorn.
announcing this today because this is the culmination of a lot of work and effort between a really sort of carefully assembled cabal of writers and creatives that have been plotting out a multi-book series, which we're going to see play out over several years. I'm really, really excited by this.
I think you were saying to me earlier on that there's kind of like 3 core themes, aren't there, that's being explored through this.
So in a nutshell, and without spoiling anything for those of you who want
That's
to enjoy
Colonel
it, I
Sanders.
promise you spoiler-free. There are 3 principal themes. Theme number 1 is what happens with the legions, Astartes, right? They've essentially caused all of this, or their brothers have. They've ruined the work of the Great Crusade. The Imperium is in tatters. What is the place for the Space Marine legions in the wake of this catastrophe? For the traitor legions, the second of these sort of perspectives, the War Master is dead. Their whole purpose for doing this has now failed. The Chaos Gods withdraw some of their power. So suddenly they thought they were onto a good thing, and now they're relatively alone and at sea. How do they survive? How do they regroup? The third group is, in my opinion, maybe the most compelling, which is what of humanity, right? They've just watched these demigods wage war across the Imperium, ruin everything.
1 out of
destroy
10,
the
no
great work
mustache
of
or
the
mutton
Imperium,
chops on
wounded.
Dorn.
How do
Is he
they
famous
respond?
for
How does
having that?
humanity, rally, and how does it perceive the place of the Space Marine legions that remain?
Absolutely, and I think worth saying as well. This is absolutely, you can treat this as a self-contained series.
Oh yeah.
If you have read all of the Horus Heresy from Horus Rising all the way through the full novel series, and then
Fans
gone through
just
the Siege of
decided
Terror,
it at some
first of
point.
all,
Okay.
very well done. There's a lot of books to read, some great stories in there. But if you are new to the Horus Heresy and kind of the setting and the era, you can absolutely just jump in with Ashes of the Imperium and treat the Scouring as a series in its own right.
Yeah, I have to give a little bit of a shout out to Chris Wright as well, who is the author chosen for this first book. He is a true gangster of words. He's written some really fantastic Black Library novels.
This guy is a
Chris
true
Wright book and you just wanna
gangster
dip your
of
toes in ahead
words.
of trying this, I could not recommend enough of Valdor, Birth of the Imperium.
I'm gonna. I gotta remember that one. I'm using it. I'm using that one.
Experienced a little bit, and it
Yo, I read the Cloud
Black
Atlas.
Library fiction,
You
and
know,
might be a fun way
gangster of
to
words.
whet your appetite for more Chris Wright. As we
A
approach
true
the release of this,
gangster
we're gonna
of
have a
words.
full-length interview with Chris, talking about Ashes of the Imperium and all of the care and consideration that's gone into it and the narrative that unfolds. More on that on Warhammer Community as we have it.
Fan art on official pictures of Dorn always gave him mutton chops and a mustache, and it fit the
really am
character
super
so
excited
well
for
that
it.
it's unspoken canon now.
We're not
Okay.
done yet.
We're not even close.
We
We're not even
promised
close.
that we would return to the grim darkness of the Dark Millennium, and we do now with 5 new Space Marine heroes for 5 of the first
5 new heroes.
Right, this is Vulcan Heston. So this is a model returning that has previously
I mean, he
been in
looks
metal
cool.
and resin and is now in plastic. Vulcan Heston is a famed hero of the Salamanders chapter.
Charlton
And
Heston?
His particular mission is to scour the galaxy looking for the relics left by his Primarch, the namesake Vulcan. He wears some of those relics himself.
Actually looks
he's
cooler
equipped
with the
a
helmet
armor
off
fitted
this
to
time.
armor. He is carrying a handheld heavy flamer and a blade of Vulcan that crackles with magma fire and is able to slice through enemy warriors. He's also walking through flames, just in case.
Is this the
you weren't
40k
sure he was-
equivalent
he
of
was
the
as cool
foot
as he can
hero that
be,
no one asked
just,
for,
walking through the
that
fire as
AOS
well.
is cursed with?
He is probably the most iconic Salamanders character.
I mean, what you have to say every time is, well, at least it looks cool.
In plastic,
But it
he
certainly
has a
isn't
couple
what
of
I
head
wanted.
options. You can have helmeted or unhelmeted.
Health and safety first.
Both of them look very, very cool indeed. He is only one of the 5 new Space Marine characters. on their
next
way.
up we have a very iconic and well-known hero returning in a new incarnation. Darnath Lysander, first captain of the first company, I probably should say.
He's old.
The Imperial Fists chapter. He's been remade in the sort of new Terminator armor style that we saw for the first time.
Mr. Hammer
the same
Fist.
scale as the ones
absolutely.
in the recent one before
And he is a substantial man in that armor. He has an enormous storm shield. He's carrying
He
that
is
incredible
a
looking
substantial man.
It's up there,
it's
isn't it?
right up
It's up
there,
there.
yeah. I think
He has
Lion
the
might argue,
Warhammer.
but we're talking top 3, right? Yeah, everything you'd expect from this iconic hero of the Imperial Fists chapter.
Nice to see a helmeted option in there.
Yeah, absolutely. They're taking the.
If you don't want to paint a face, and sometimes you just want to get him on the battlefield nice and fast.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't yellow, I don't know, I might find it easy to paint the flesh, to be honest. He is not the only. There are 5 of them altogether. So next up we have Canok Var, a new character for the Iron Hands chapter.
Oh.
This is the captain of the Averni.
Not every day you see an Oni club.
Captain of the first company.
Yeah. Little Tetsubo action.
Scale as the recent new Terminator kits.
Despite his
really lovely little
excellent choice in weapon that is not oft utilized, I don't like the look of this guy. I gotta say.
Know-how and their kind of alliance with the
cool weapon.
Yeah, he's got sort of servo skulls attacked by data.
Pretty rare, uncommon weapon. But I do not like him.
Like he's projecting a Fortress of Redemption.
Yeah, he's got like a little holograph of perhaps a building that they're planning to besiege.
And I think my favourite thing on this model is actually the power maul, which is shaped after a Tetsubo, not a weapon I'm used to seeing. And
he has a Kanabo.
Sort of straightforward, practical, extremely brutal.
He's who cares, perfect for Iron Hands. Oh no!
I think for many people this will be the sort of
this one's cool, guys.
The model which
Canok Var.
The Raven Guard have a new chapter master.
Absolutely love this guy.
Look at this
the new
guy.
Chapter master of the Raven Guard. You might be saying, Eddie, they already have a chapter master. What happened to Shrike? Shrike.
Dude, his face looks like Bucky from fucking Captain America.
In the shadows as the captain of stealth assaults, and he has left Ethion Shan.
This is the most 12-year-old boy coded miniature I've seen in 40K in a long time.
Phenomenal. We very recently had Logan Grimnar.
It's perfect.
I think only this last weekend.
Lee stupid.
This continues
in a good way.
Having just an absolutely phenomenally.
Like this is hella lame and stupid, but perfect. It's great. This is a 10 out of 10. It's dumb. I love it.
Runic script of deliverance. He's got feathers and fetishes.
It's not a phase emperor.
Aethon Shan is a really just tremendous centerpiece model, and I think the Raven Guard fans out there.
Yeah, nothing personnel, kid.
What he presents. And there's one
as
more.
I swoop down.
Subodin Khan. He is the first captain of the White Scars chapter, so he leads its first company on this. Just
are these tank treads? Is this thing moving sideways like a crab?
A Gatling cannon mounted into the front. He's just the perfect embodiment of that White Scars hero huntsman archetype.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. There's all sorts of beautiful Chigorian details on him there. You can see the kind of pattern.
I don't know if I like this bike.
Very reminiscent of some of their Heresy era designs on their dreadnoughts and things like that.
Hover bike.
We've got the model with us.
Got a minigun.
Have a look at it, but there's some beautiful detail on the back. He's got kind of Chigorian shields and sheaths and decapitated enemy heads and stuff like that. It is just the most White Scars looking thing you've ever seen. It fits beautifully in an army if you've got lots of outriders and fast moving stuff.
He's driving like a outdoor freezer you'd put in your garage.
Really beautiful.
It looks better than the bikes. You're right.
There's some questions to answer there. There's a series of combat.
Like these bikes look hella stupid. Just really dumb. So he looks cooler than that for sure.
It's 3 outrider bikes.
All right. Now that I've seen what their bikes look like, now I like the jet bike because it doesn't look like those.
Separately, not that long after the release of this Combat Patrol. He's the only one of these new heroes that comes inside a Combat Patrol. The others are available separately.
I wasn't sure if I liked him at first, but now I've seen his contemporaries and I like him now.
Just full of heavily armored Imperial Fist troops. You've got Terminators and a command group, and it just looks wonderful. Next up, Iron Hands, heavy intercessors, heavy weapons, everything you might expect from these tough, durable
Iron Hands.
The Iron Hands chapter. The Raven Guard, a bit more
fast and Phobos.
Yeah, fast. That's good. I like that.
That looks dumb.
Yeah, they're going to get in amongst it much faster. Imagine Aethon Shan leading
the Matrix 3 looking ass robot
just want to carry all the
with a dude in it.
Yeah.
This vehicle's the NPC vehicle. What is this thing?
I think there's some assault.
Looks like you can carry it around in a suitcase and it unfurls into a dune buggy.
That is a lot.
That shit looks stupid.
And I think you can excuse us.
A lot of these guys are pointing.
As well. Adam, I know you're a very big fan of that when we were looking through.
Hit on my secret nerd part of Warhammer. I get really excited by transfer sheets.
None of those things come with the new guy. You got to buy those separately.
Each of these will come with its own transfer sheet. which means that you can apply all the details of the helmet
Mario
and everything.
Kart character.
There's loads of cool extras on those. Case in point, the Imperial Fist one has some
Yeah,
decals
secret
of the
nerd part.
Crimson
You
Fists.
work for
So
Games
if you were,
Workshop.
a fan of the Crimson Fists success.
We are all watching a Games Workshop
we'll show you
live
those ahead of time, so you
preview.
can sort of plan your purchases.
Your words have no power
As we
here.
get closer to these.
Yeah,
Shall we have a look at the models?
Yeah, I've got some of the miniatures right here. We've got some kind of classic stuff, so you can see the scale of them.
Cool.
And we've also got
Dude,
some
Yellow
of the new
Fist guy
miniatures.
is
So if we
fucking
start off,
big.
over here with the Raven Guard side. I brought along a
Regular
assault intercessor sergeant. It's not a small model by any stretch of the imagination, but you sort of get a sense of how big the new chapter
Yeah,
master
these
of the
4
Raven
models
Guard
here
is on
pay for
a big
everything they
base,
do in
which
Age of
is quite
Sigmar for the next 3
intimidating.
years.
Character is certainly going to be the largest of your infantry models. Probably
Old World
standing
for 11.
far off the height of a Redemptor Dreadnought at the top of his base there.
Yeah, what's interesting is you may have a tactical rock to sort of raise him up a little, but Darneth Lysander is such a brute that he's not that much shorter than either of the 2 models you just mentioned. He really is very dominating. And then Sabodin Khan next to an Outrider. First of all, check out the sort of similarities between the stylings, the sort of the shape of the bike, very sort of reminiscent of the things that you see on the Outrider. But
Yeah, I don't like the normal bike. I like this guy's bike a lot better.
So many lovely details on this. I really like the shield.
Oh,
There's
this
some
looks
sheaths,
better,
there's some
yeah.
extra
Okay.
weapons. There's,
I think I like the
as
White
well as
Scars
having
man.
Loads of lovely detail. There's also loads of
I had to
space
think
if you
about
want
it
to
for a
do
while and see
like
the other
scoring
bikes first, but
freehand
I
or
think
something
I've
like that. I think that's going to be.
I think I've rolled around to
up
liking
there
it.
with the golden demons and things, so that where people choose the
Yeah, it's
models.
exciting to see what
It's
people
really
do
nice.
with it. So there we are, Space Marine.
Surely that's all the Space Marine we have time for.
So you say that, but there is a little bit more Space Marine on the way.
Yeah,
This one's really
surely.
exciting to me because I got to help a little bit on the team that have brought this to life. I am over the moon to present the first ever officially licensed wearable Space Marine helmet. This is the Lieutenant Titus Mark 10 helmet made by Joy Toy. If you've not heard of Joy Toy, where have you been hiding? Joy
I
Toy
think I have heard of
beautiful
Joy Toy,
action
but it's
figures,
on a
the
different
licensed
website.
workshop. They do Warhammer
Why did
4000
they
ones,
name
and they
their
do Warhammer
company
8000
that?
And they do Warhammer the Horus Heresy ones.
That's
And
false
now they have
advertising.
this incredible helmet. It's
Hello? MasterCard Visa? Can you ban this company?
Inside, it's got an adjustable sort of headband, so you can change it to fit your head. What that means is that unless you've got the teeniest, tiniest of heads, like
Yeah, the helmet stays on.
rock,
Sorry,
you
babe,
should
the
be able to
helmet
fit.
stays
I have
on.
the most preposterous
Pulling your socks way up.
potato head
I
imaginable.
think I'm going to say what everyone is thinking, which is just put it on.
Yeah,
Adam.
yeah,
Just
I
give it a
will.
look like.
But before I do, so
Put it
this is
on
a
and say
prototype
loads
that
when you
we've
put it
been,
on.
Sort of working with them on.
Mm-hmm.
And before I do, I'm going to flip a switch because we're under very bright studio lights. But inside, can you see the illuminated a little bit?
No,
There's some really great pictures
not at
that
all.
you'll be able to see
But
later.
you're under
But
studio lights.
I feel like a Space Marine already. This is
I
just
feel like I'm
the
standing
best.
next to a Space Marine. It's
He's
great.
surprisingly
It's never
audible.
felt so good to feel like Lieutenant Titus. So the lenses inside illuminate. You can buy it with this lovely display stand as well. This is the Mark 10 helmet stand. It looks like something straight out of a battle barge or a Fortress Monastery cell where a Space Marine might put his war gear when he's finished on campaign. It's your choice whether you want to get the helmet separately or with that, but I've had this in my office for quite a while and it looks really cool.
Okay.
When can you get your hands on it, I guess is the question.
When can I get my hands on it, Adam?
I'm glad you asked. The answer is when this preview show is done, the pre-orders begin. So you will be able to go to warhammermerch.com.
I think the real question is how much is it going to cost?
So, yeah, I'm just over the moon to see this.
All right,
in the flesh,
scalpers
in the
ready.
world. Very, very exciting.
Cosplayers ready, and they're off.
We're still not done with Warhammer 40,000.
I know.
We need to go
I know we're still
to
not
Kill
done with
Team
Warhammer 40,000.
to
There's more.
The Kill Team.
Oh, Kel Team. $200 maybe. To me, 200 is like, that sounds like the minimum.
So, an amazing new box for Kill Team, a new expansion, 2 brand new kill teams, a new kill zone, some incredible miniatures.
Kill Team,
Let's
Kill
take a
Zone.
look. This is Kill Team Tomb World, and you get absolutely loads in this box.
It's just bursting with cool
this
stuff. Right?
Might be
a pizza
the best
pizzone.
Kill Team box we've released. It's
bold
way up
claim,
there.
and I struggle to argue.
It's up there. There's some beautiful stuff in here. I mean, like, if we talk about the battlefield,
Kind of looks like the
first, you've
Dwarf
got some
Fortress.
absolutely
Wait, not Dwarf
amazing,
Fortress. What's the?
Necron scenery in a little
So you
bit
can create
like
your own
the Dark
dungeon
Scenery
thing.
saw,
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. They go to Gen Con every year.
Games in that same sort of style doesn't replace it necessarily, but allows you to play that kind of close confines, up close battles.
Doesn't replace it
Really thematic.
necessarily.
You've got the kind of
Parenthetical
undead
replaces it.
Necron crypts as the warriors wake from their eons long.
Yeah,
slumber.
Dwarven Forge.
But
That's
the
the
kill
one.
teams themselves are probably where the real excitement is. So if we start off with the Deathwatch kill team, this is the return of the original kill team. The name kill team itself comes from the concept of Deathwatch. And
Okay.
they have come out with an amazing new range of miniatures. There are 10 of these guys in the box.
I don't know.
You can
I
build them
shrug.
in a whole range of different ways, and there are some lovely features. Adam, have you got any favourites from the
I mean,
mix there?
for me, I'm all about the big firepower, right? So, sort of bottom right, you have a flesh terrier holding a frag cannon, because that's the best way to greet the Xenos, right? Yeah, you can't really go wrong. I called him out as a flesh terrier because I happen to know he is. One of the things that's really striking about this set is that there's loads of different heraldic devices available.
Some quite obscure chapters as well.
Yeah, I mean, so flesh terriers are perhaps not obscure, but they're not necessarily what you might expect. For example, top center, that's a member of the Wolf Spears, which is one of the few successors to the Space
These
Wolf
Space
chapter.
Marines extra hate
Got
aliens.
an Ultramarine
Okay.
on the right-hand side. The crossed swords on the one bottom left, I think, is probably making him a guardian of the Covenant.
I think you might be right. You might be right.
And as a Dark Angels collector, that's quite exciting.
We had a fun game earlier on where we tried to guess all the different chapters.
Yeah.
A red scorpion in there as well. You can't quite make him out, but
There's 5 more that you can see here. So if you see any that are
Yeah, I don't know.
a chapter that you're interested in,
I
shout them
sleep.
out in the chat. I think the top middle guy is going
I
to get
sleep.
attention because there's a lot of fans for those guys.
Resident
Loads of options,
sleeper.
loads of different specializations for your kill team to be built with.
I will point out that
they
this
really
guy
want the
here
certification of pick the
looks
right weapon for the job.
way
So-
stupider
And
than
when you
his
play Kill
friends.
Team, the way that this, any kill team works is that you have a roster of different warriors.
Like, looks
and then
way
you can
worse.
choose the ones you want before your game starts. You get 10 models in this box to make your kill team. You've got loads of different options, and then you choose before each game. Your kill team in game will be 5 of those warriors, and you can pick any 5 you want.
I mean, check it out with the underslung grenade.
The deep lores that they come from different chapters. Okay.
It's great to see a mix of Gravis and Phobos and Tacticus
absolutely.
as well. So that's
They were
going to
squat this faction a year ago, and they should have.
But he's even more upgunned than you might expect a normal heavy intercessor to be, which have already got quite big guns. In game terms, the Deathwatch have got all sorts of specialist Xenos killing kit, but one of their things is effectively in each turning point you can choose one of them to use a special piece of ammunition, and you can basically pick a special rule for that gun to have, so it can be blast or precision or extra AP or something like that. So that a kind of quite long-standing concept of them having the ammunition to do exactly the job you need them to do makes its way
The
into
ammunition.
as well as them just being pretty good all-round Space Marines, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
right.
But they're not the only thing in the kit, although you might excuse our enthusiasm for thinking so.
Cool.
There's also the Canoptic Circle.
This guy's
These
cool.
are the Necron guardians of this tomb complex. Essentially, their job
Not the
has
biggest
been
fan of
to
this
oversee
stuff,
the reanimation
or the tiny
protocols of
bugs
all of
with the funny
Necrons you
face.
see in these alcoves. We'll show you some more.
This
of the
guy's
things in a
cool.
bit. And so these are the sentinels that are ready to now sort of attack the interlopers.
Yeah, and they were just going about their business, waking up all the Necrons, and all of a sudden this very rude kill team of Deathwatch burst into their crypt and decided to start wrecking up the place. So they've had to mobilize against them. It is a very powerful kill team. This is the Canoptek Circle. It is led by a Geomancer, which is a type of cryptech. That's the model you can see there. She is the leader of the warband, and she definitely kind of is the core of the force, right? So,
and she's big and powerful.
She's
right?
big and powerful. Yeah, she alone can take on
She's
a
big.
Space Marine, but the other troops in her force need her to kind of be at the center to kind of coordinate the efforts. You've got a few different other models in the mix there as well. As the Geomancer, you have
Why the long face?
Remind me of the names of these.
The larger thing on the left-hand side with the guns on the top is the Tomb Crawler.
Yep.
Then sort of the right hand, and there's another one sort of central to the right-hand side. Then the smaller things.
Okay.
They are your reanimators or your warriors. So normally, day to day, they'd just be pooling around, making sure everything's safe and well. They'd be reanimating some Necrons, but you know, when the Deathwatch come knocking,
Day to day, chilling by the pool,
Yeah,
stirring
the Crawlers have
lemonade,
got some
resurrecting
formidable
some
weaponry, right? So like,
chips.
they're up against the Deathwatch kill team. So the guns on those can take out a Space Marine if they get a good, solid round of firepower. They are one of the. You've got your kind of central character, which does all the kind of utility stuff. Then you've got two really.
You get
good,
one
solid
solitary
gun
warrior,
and then you've got the rest
one
of the
guy.
force, which whizzes around and does the objective taking stuff. So it's a really flexible little kill team. Also worth pointing out that the box has a bunch of Necron warriors.
Yep.
Why does it have a bunch of Necron warriors, you might ask? They're not in the kill team. Well, one of the other things that you get inside this box is
He's just an
rules
example. I get
for
you get a bunch of
playing
them.
Basically, co-op missions where you both play as Deathwatch and you're up against hordes, undying hordes of Necron warriors.
Joint operations is super.
The show doesn't feel like the
fun,
10th anniversary of Age of Sigmar to you.
do
It's
this
not.
as a Deathwatch kill team, sort of stalking around a Necron.
Age of Sigmar is just part of stuff they're doing. I don't think there's really a celebration that they're doing for it.
I'm going to totally jump on it. Have a look around.
It's Dwarf Day. We got a new army. That's big.
Those reanimating Necrons and stuff.
Why is my camera in black and white?
Replete with
Saves. It saves bits. There's less delay on the internet for my picture to get to you.
Or maybe the wolf spear hitting everything with his hammer. Yeah, this is this is going to be just peak Warhammer adventures.
Anyway, good question.
I love it.
And of course, both of these kill teams will be usable in Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah, absolutely.
There'll be a way to use your Deathwatch in that game as well, and your new Necrons. And of course, there is a new book, a new dossier that comes with this, which has all the rules you need to play these in your games of kill team.
Yeah, let's have a look at some of them in the flesh. It comes in a box. There you go. Let's have a look at some of these in the flesh. In particular, it'd be good to get the Geomancer in because that gives a sense of the scale.
The Geomancer.
My favourite with the Frank cannon, but when you put the Geomancer in here, square enough. There we go.
Oh yeah, they have to face each other as if they're fighting. Yeah.
Narrative around the events here, which is quite.
Let's get ready for some Tekken.
So when we learned that the Geomancer was in fact a lady. If you haven't already twigged yet, this is a raptor. This guy.
If you haven't already tweeted yet, use the Warhammer hashtag hashtag Big Lady.
The reanimators on the
I don't think
sides.
anyone else is using
Loads
that
of
one.
stuff to feast on. This is going to be a very exciting time for Kill Team. I think the Deathwatch are very popular with lots of fans, and they're so iconic within the concept of Kill Team.
Yeah, I think wouldn't be an exaggeration to say the most requested kill team, since the concept of kill team was sort of re-emerged into the consciousness.
Absolutely. Right. I think we've done it.
I think we've done it.
We're around the 90-minute mark. I did say it would be a long one.
Hey, well, who's your favorite Tekken character?
All of our Warhammer previews. We should go to question corner. That was a good prompt. Well done. Simon, there's probably a question.
Oh, maybe
or three,
Mitsu.
right?
There's quite a few. Yeah. Do you want some rapid fire ones to get you going?
Let's hit us until we
Soul bad guy.
Okay, let's go.
That's a
so
different
start,
IP.
Old World. Are the new Tomb King minis resin or plastic?
They are plastic.
Multi-part plastic kits.
Let's go with
Oh yeah,
the
King
Kill
is
Team Tomb World.
cool
Is
too.
the new Necron terrain
Yeah.
similar in dimension
King,
to the Gallodark?
Yoshimitsu,
It's similar. I don't think it's exactly the same.
Heihachi.
Yeah, Gallodark would be a good reference.
All the fucking kangaroos and farm animals and really stupid looking robots and anime laser demons. All that shit's fucking stupid.
I don't want to.
But I'm not like a big Tekken fan necessarily anyway, so it's just not for me.
As a face of non-committal.
One thing that is worth saying is that quite a lot of the new battles.
Oh, I should have said Noctis. I missed an opportunity. Well, who's my favorite Tekken character? Noctis. I should have said that. That would have been a good name.
I think that's a more comprehensive answer, Eddie.
Clive.
Yeah, that's fair. The Hellspace.
A Coomer.
Going into Warcraft, we said that already. We have
Yes.
said that. Yeah. Well done us.
So
been a long night.
the Adeptus Astartes ones we've just seen. Does Subaden Khan have a helmeted option?
He does have a helmeted option.
Very cool.
Although I think
Safety first.
any adherence to health and safety would be an absolute abomination when you're riding free in the wind.
You
like the
might
White
be
Scars.
riding in a vacuum, at
No,
which point
no,
you're probably
just
allowed.
hold your breath.
Just.
Get on with it. Yeah.
Okay,
they've got
cool.
reinforced
There you go.
skulls. I'm sure they'll be fine.
I don't like their
So
Q&A.
where can we expect to see the lore and rules for the shiny new characters?
That is a great question.
That's a good question.
So,
That is a good question.
the rules will be
You
available
could have thought of that
online.
question.
So some of the rules, if the character is being
Like you yourself, you could have thought of when is it going to release, right?
Yeah,
Because that's
well,
just a
or
graphic you
there.
put up.
The other rules
You
will be
didn't
there.
need to ask the
And
audience
I'm really glad you asked about the
for
law,
a
because I know
question
a
and then
few,
comb through them and pick
who
the
came
one
from Warhammer 40,000,
that asks when is it
Naughty,
releasing.
came and had a chat with me.
You
And
didn't
they've
need to
written
do that.
Full background for each of these characters and narrative stories, which we'll be hosting on Warhammer.
Does it have a helmet option? Please God, I can't paint and I don't want to learn.
I'm super excited because I don't know anything about Aethon Shan and I want to learn his story.
Brian Fury's cool.
Awesome. So we've got two more quick ones.
I'm with you
So,
there.
the
Brian
Force
Fury's
Heritage
cool.
Designers
Yoshi's cool.
Are some of the wargate options that are currently no longer available to certain units ever going to be revisited?
Craig,
So
Chad,
that's a good question. So we do
Chad
know
Duke.
that there will be more things released in plastic across the course of this edition. With some of those plastic kits, you may see war gear options returning that have previously been available. You might also see some war gear options that have never existed before
Negan.
added to those units. So hopefully that
From The Walking Dead.
One last one was on the scouring. How many books can we expect to see in the series?
At least one, because it's got the number 1 on the side of it. I don't want to steal the thunder of any future.
How many books
sort of
are we
news
expecting?
Black Library other
At
than to announce
least
it today.
one, because it says
But
one.
What they have told us, and it was
Thank
one
you.
of the best conversations of my professional life ever, to sit down with the editing team from Black Library as they sort of poured the scouring lore into my open brain, was this is a multi-book, multi-author series, and so you're going to be
Multi-book
following
series,
some years
at
to
least
come.
one.
Grand.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Well, there's bazillions more questions that I couldn't possibly get to. There.
We'll answer some of the Brazilians' questions then.
Ones I got. But yeah, thanks.
That's great. What remains, I guess, at this point in the juncture is, first of all, to thank all of you for tuning in and spending 90 minutes of brilliant Warhammer fun with us. I've really enjoyed myself.
I had a great time.
That's all the time we have.
There's some general housekeeping to do. If you've missed anything in this and you want to know,
Yeah, I missed the Ogre refresh.
Go to warhammercommunity.com.
Maybe next
Read
time.
the articles that are there on the website. There's pictures. There's more information than Eddie and I would have remembered to tell you. And you can watch the videos back as well. If you are looking for more Warhammer excitement right now in your life, we're going to throw back to Tacoma, where there's Warhammer 40,000.
We're going to put you in a
I
coma.
believe right now is what we're going back to. So you can hang around here, especially on the Twitch channel. I believe that is true. What else is there to say? The helmet. Go and find it on warhammermerch.com.
No gores.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Brilliant. Right. Thank you, Simon, for asking questions. Thanks to the crew here who've made it all work. Eddie, it's been a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
We can't wait to see you again next time. Take care.
Thanks for watching. Hey, all right. There was a lot of stuff in there that was good. The Votan stuff looked super cool. It's Chorfs. Okay. Could have been worse. Yeah, if you like wide, that was a good preview for you. Warcry technically mentioned. The 30K stuff looked cool as always that they showed on the screen. I don't think it's new, but they showed it on the screen. HeyWoah, play Votan. We will buy you into 40K. We'll see about it. Depends on how hard of financial times I run into. Although it's not looking good, so maybe it's time soon. I'll do a Eat Fresh sponsorship and start looking in the 40K armies. No roadmap, yeah. Sabooby, eat freef. Curious about what they do for FEC, given the recent books have been okay-ish at updating their rules. Chorfs obviously designed for Old World. I don't think they were, though, Biz. I think they were designed a little cartoony, a little World of Warcraft, a little cartoony, not designed for Old World from the look anyway. Like if you look at Tomb Kings, they're made to look old and to fit with the old stuff, seemingly. I don't think these guys really were. Yeah, they're fitting in. Any Mass Effect enjoyers? 40K army of choice is just all Saturnian armor. Yeah, can you do that? Is that something you can do? Anyway, I got 300 people watching right now. So thanks for being along for the watch-along ride. It's time to pick someone to give all of my viewers as I go offline to pass it forward. And so I'm going to click through and look for somebody to deposit a bunch of viewers for fun and profit. Oh no. Okay, it's going to have nothing to do with anything, but it'll be funny. All right. Following. Once again, thank you very much for showing up this fine evening. I'll see you Saturday for Going Over Battletome stream. All right. Thanks for the subs and the bits and the primes. Please enjoy all your chorfy business. Everything else. Here, have a Menhera psycho girl streamer. Please enjoy.